koni misuse kotorino.
Meurerene kalame, tinye gimnase kalame.
Agolule met kalameto.
Kigure corruption, alage are kalame.
Ayagitagana met kalameto. Agolule met kalameto.
Kigure corruption, alage are kalame.
Ayeweze motin weche milugosie. Mewanguluge pundugito.
Agoyinde mwai pundugito. Sigionjine kalame.
Ayeweze motin weche milugosie. Mewanguluge pundugito.
Agoyinde mwai pundugito. Sigionjine kalame.
Ayeweze rimbaisiet kalameto. Agebutanene kalamito.
Meurerene kalame, tinye gimnase kalame.
Nesire nebo bundugi.
Elegiribe bundugi, keibe tugu kalame.
Ayewe tinye gimnatet kalamito. Nesire nebo bundugito.
Elegiribe bundugi, keibe tugu kalame.
Ayewe totin injela kalame. Ngome boisye ni mandao.
Meurerene kalame, tinye gimnaset kalame.
Ayewe kokile tenget kabyuda. Kokikisire kalamito.
Ako kalame tapane, wongeribenke kalame.
Ayewe mogiswe kyok chekikeyai. Chekikisire kitabuto.
Komaminege use, batengoroti kapcheso.
Ayewe bukutab sobonen kipsengwet. Kokikisire kalamito.
Ngomakinyochi kaineng'ung, kewirchin iman elole.
Tinye gimnatet kalameto.
Meurerene kalame, tinye gimnatet kalame.
Ayewe mogiswe kyok chekikeyai. Chekikisire kitabuto.
Komaminege use, batengoroti kapcheso.
Ayewe bukutab sobonen kipsengwet. Kokikisire kalamito.
Ngomakinyochi kaineng'ung, kewirchin iman elole.
Ayeweni boisyen komye koribin. Koni misuse kotorino.
Meurerene kalame, tinye gimnatet kalame.
This revolutionary new device can remove up to 10 times more earwax than a traditional cotton swab.
Meurerene kilamito. Tinye tinye kimnotet kalameto
meurerene kalamit tinye kimnotet kalamit
Olewe meurerene kilamito tinye kimnotet kalameto
meurerene kalamit tinye kimnotet kalamit
Oyewe ngatim kutitab kalamito kou ye ngatim ng'elyeptao
meurerene kalamit tinye kimnotet kalamit
Oleweni boisien komye koribin koni misuse kotorino
meurerene kalamit tinye kimnotet kalamit
Kitegene met kalameto agolule met kalameto
kikuren corruption akakeyoen kalamit
Oye kitegene met kalameto agolule met kalameto
kikuren corruption akakeyoen kalamit
Oye weze motinwek chemi lugosiek mewongu luget bundukito
akoi kinde ng'wony bundukit sikiyonjinen kalamit
Oye weze motinwek chemi lugosiek mewongu luget bundukito
akoi kinde ng'wony bundukit sikiyonjinen kalamit
Oye weziri boisiet kalameto akebutanene kalamito
meurerene kalamit tinye kimnotet kalamit
Tinye kimnotet kalamito nesire nebo bundukit
ele kiriben bundukit keiben tuguk kalamit
Oyewe tinye kimnotet kalamito nesire nebo bundukito
ele kiriben bundukit keiben tuguk kalamit
Asante sana. Hiyo ni wimbo ambao iliimbwa na mwimbaji Daktari Joel Kimeta, wimbo ya
Say you're
Kalamit.
mute if you're talking.
Kwa dakika chache kwa watu ambao wanatufuatilia katika upande wa Facebook, upande wa YouTube, tuko moja kwa moja upande wa Kesses, St. Catherine Girls High School, na upande wa county ya Uasin Gishu. Manuela, once ikiwa tayari, you let me know and then tupate kama mnatupata, kama mnatusikia upande ule mwingine. Manuela utanieleza, alafu tupate tuanzishe program yetu ya siku ya leo. Watu ambao mnatufuatilia, tuliwahakikisha siku ya leo tutaelekea upande wa Kesses, program ya ku-encourage na kuongelesha student. Mwezi uliopita tulikuwa upande wa Tulwap-Ngetuny, the same county. Tumefuga kidogo, tumefika upande wa Kesses, kuongelesha wanafunzi. Naona wanafunzi wameingia huko, wamekaa, wameng'ara, wako tayari kusikiza kwa moja kwa moja kutoka upande mwingine. Manuela, once ukiwa tayari utanieleza, alafu ndamkaribisha our team leader Ambassador Peter Rono ambao atatupeleka moja kwa moja. So asanteni sana watu wote ambao mmefika, wageni wetu kutoka maeneo mbalimbali, kutoka engineer wetu ambao tuko hapa under courtesy ya invitation ya our engineer ambaye amefika, pia brother Shadrack, watu wengi ambao wameweza kufika na wageni wengine ambao bado wako njiani. Manuela, unioneshe kwa kama mmekuwa tayari. Ambassador Peter Rono utachukua ushukani moja kwa moja kutoka hapa, na pia mwalimu hawa senior Ester Rotich ambaye pia ni yeye tumekuja under the courtesy ya invitation yake, najua wako Crown huko, wako na wasichana wameng'ara kabisa. Asante sana. Makofi kwenyu, mjipigie makofi wanafunzi, mjipigie makofi. Naona mko sawa kabisa na hiyo uniform ya shule. Natumai Manuela sauti haiendi sambamba. Naona bado tuko na challenge ya sauti. Hawanisikizi. Kama Bwana asifiwe wanafunzi, kama unanisikiza mniwefie, kama mnanisikia mniwefie. Wanafunzi kama mnatusikia utuwefia. Asante sana. Bado tuko na challenge kidogo. Bado tusikize hii wimbo ya ambayo iliimbwa na Joel Kimeta, tukiona kwa sound system yetu.
Yewe tokini njela galame ngome boisie ni mandao
Meurere galame tinye gimnaset galame
yewe gogile tenge tabuda kogigisire galame to
Ago galame tapane Ongeri benge galame
yewe mogiswe kyokegi gaya tegigisire ngitabuto
Oma miginege use Batengorasi gapcheso
yewe bukutab sobone ngipsengwe kogigisire galamito
Ngoma ginyanchi gainengu Kewichili manelole
Wanafunzi wa St. Catherine, Bwana Yesu asifiwe. God is good. Kama mnanisikia mnipatie mniwefie. Wanafunzi ambao wananiona na wananisikia mnipatie mniwefie hivi. Wanafunzi wa St. Catherine, kama mnanisikia mniwefie. Bwana Yesu asifiwe. God is good all the time. Asante sana, nimefurahi kuwaona na nimeona pia tunasikizana kwa njia iliyo mzuri. Nashukuru na Mwenyezi Mungu kwa kunipatia nafasi nyingine ambayo ametuleta hadi tufike upande wa St. Catherine Girls High School, upande wa Kesses. Naitwa Kiprono Hosea, niko upande wa Adelaide, South Australia. Tukiongea ni karibu saa 6 usiku. We are almost, tuko already Sunday. Na najua huko Kenya mko saa 10 harakati mnajiandaa kwa lunch. Chukua muda mfupi kubwa sana. Ningependa nimkaribisha wa team leader ambaye atatuongoza na hii ratiba ama program hii ya kuongelesha wanafunzi upande wa St. Catherine. So watu wote mnaotufuatilia, karibuni. Tuko leo upande wa St. Catherine Girls High School Kesses. Karibu balozi, kama unanisikiza balozi.
Asante. Thank you. Yeah, thank you Hosea, thank you. Bwana Yesu asifiwe. Wanafunzi, habari zenu? Bwana Yesu asifiwe. Hebu msalamie mtu ambaye karibu na wewe, ambia kumbe ulikuja kwa hii mkutano. Thank you so much. Wave to me if you can hear me. Wave to me if you can hear me. Thank you so much. Thank you. I can see on this side, I can see Hosea Kibrono, who was moderating a little bit. And then I can see Engineer Janeth Chepkogei on this side. I see Mili Chebwambok on this side. And I also see Engineer Shadrach Kipchirchir akiwa upande wa Colorado. I don't know what time it is over there. It's still very, very early in the morning in the US. I am actually in Columbus, Ohio. That is in the Midwest of the United States. Mimi naitwa Ambassador Peter Kipchumba Rono. Upande wa nyumbani, I come from Kapsabet. If you come from a place, Kapsabet town, not too far from there, a place called Kamobo, a village. I've never been to St. Catherine's, but I've been to Kesses, Moy University. So I think I've been closer to the school. I don't know where it is, but naona mumeng'ara kabisa. So nataka niwashukuru. Asanteni, and thank you so much for inviting us. So we shall mix the languages. Tutaongelea Kiswahili, tutaongea, a little bit of English. And later, on AOB, I will switch a little bit to the language. Mutaniza samea kidogo, lakini sana tutaongea hizo lugha mbili. Asanteni. I want to invite Engineer Janeth ambaye alitualika, alafu atuambie hii mkutano ni ya nini. Engineer Janeth is actually from that region. Anatoka upande wa probably around Kesses area. Atatuambia what village. Na tunataka tushukuru the principal wa shule yenu. Tunataka tushukuru Madam Ester Rotich ambaye alituinvite, ambaye ni mama wa engineer, atatuelezea. Alafu ndio tuone hii mkutano ilikuwa, atatuelezea hii mkutano ni ya nini. So, Engineer Janeth, I would like to invite you so that you can tell us the purpose of this meeting today. Karibu Engineer.
Asante sana Balozi, and thank you for everyone in the team. Asante Hosea, thank you Manuela, and all the engineers on the ground. I'm so proud and happy to see that. And wageni wetu Shadrach, Millie, wengine wanakuja, we have them on the way. So it's really a privilege to be here this morning. Kwetu saizi ni asubuhi. It's about 8:30 in the morning, and I'm so happy to hear wanafunzi. Kama mnanisikia, mniambie hi. Wananisikia? Hi. All right. Nice. It's so lovely to see all of you wanafunzi. It's a privilege. Kwa majina naitwa Engineer Janeth Chepkogei Rotich. Mama yangu ni Mrs. Ester Rotich. I'm sure most of the students mnamjua. She has been a teacher there, and right now she is on to a new journey as Megun MCA. And it's really a privilege to see her and to see her transition into this. So the purpose of this is really to wish the students, nyinyi wanafunzi, kuwatakia mema, as Madam Esther anawaambia kwaheri, but to also cheer you on and tell you that there's a lot of possibilities in life. Kwa Form 4s, this is to tell you that we wish you all the best. Mkikalia your exam that is coming up next week, as from next week, I believe. This is really to tell you that success. Kwa Form 1, Form 2, Form 3, we wanted to also share 1 or 2 words that, they will be help build you, help you in your life, and also through high school. So we have a lot of guests. We have a lot of very honored to be joined by amazing women. They are all on their way. They are coming. Merely here, a couple of engineers. We have doctors. We have Olympic athletes over here. So it's really a privilege to have everyone. We have, it's a whole ecosystem. So we'll be touching on very many points. And I ask everyone, kama hauna notebook, omba notebook na kalamu. You might take 1 or 2 things. So find a notebook, find a pen somewhere, and then you can write it down. For our followers, when you want to scare somewhere, wherever you're watching us from, we welcome you to this episode. Let's encourage and cheer on these students. And then this is going to be really awesome because students are going to get some time to ask some questions too, because we want to hear from you. So I'm really excited. I hope you all are. And asante sana, Madam Ester Rotich, who's my lovely mom, very inspiring mother for me. I'm always looking up to her, and she's just such a joy to have, and I am so privileged to have such a mother. A few remarks from me for the students is, I just want to tell you, believe in yourself. The topic of today, when we wrote it down, it says, she believed she could, and so she did. So I want you from today to believe that you could, And so you can, no matter what you're doing, no matter where you, no matter where you're from, it doesn't really matter. And I'm sure all the guests will be talking about that today. And it will be just an honor. I hope you will all be inspired. I come here and I'm always super inspired, especially some of the women that are going to speak today. And the gentlemen too, they inspire me a lot. So I want you from today to say, I believe I can. And from that, believing that you can, I am sure you also, you sure will. And for Madam Ester Rotich, as you start a new journey as a candidate for Megun, I know Megun deserves you. I know Megun will be honored. And I, on behalf of, the children, I'm very happy to share my mother with Megun, and I know she will do great things, just like she has been a light for all of us and always inspired each one of us. So we wish you well, Mrs. Ester Rotich. You have inspired so many. You have inspired me, myself. You still continue to inspire me to move to greater heights. And as you start and embark on that new journey, tunakutakia mema sana. Again, I grew up I grew up in Keregut. If some of you know, it's in Megun, Kapseret ward. I grew up there, and some people might know I used to chunga ng'ombe. So I used to come from a very simple background, really, as I can say, but it took a lot of hard work, a lot of focus, and a lot of self-determination for me to get to where I am. And of course, with the help and the support of my parents. So I just want to tell you today, it doesn't matter where you can, you just need to believe in yourself, and so you can do anything in your life. There will be a lot of guests, and I know we'll be in and out. Before we get started, Ambassador Peter Rono, allow me to call on Mrs. Rotich on the ground and to introduce us and to also pray for us as we begin this journey, and also to pray for her students as they go on and welcome us to the school. Ambassador, and I'll give it to that.
Asante engineer. Asante sana. Wanafunzi wa St. Catherine's. Engineer probably did not introduce herself fully. I will take the opportunity to introduce her even further. Yeye ni engineer. Ametuambia alisomea primary ya huko Kwenu, and then later on I think she went to Nandi, a boarding school, and then after that she went to Alliance Girls. Sisi wengine tunasikianga tu Alliance, and we know it's a very good school. And then after that, she did very well in Alliance, and she scored an A, and we ended up bringing her to go to an Ivy League school. Ivy League schools are, top schools in the US. She finished there and got a job. She actually works. You see the bridge behind her. That bridge there, hiyo iko San Francisco. Ako anafanya kazi as an engineer. Sisi tulikuwa tunasikianga engineer, kumbe kuna engineer ya barabara, kuna engineer ya computer. Tutapata engineer, there is an engineer ya ndege hapa hivi, we will get to see her. All this is to tell you that it is possible. She is an engineer and she works in Silicon Valley. Huko ndio mwisho ya maneno yote sasa ya technology. So she works there, and we're very honored to have her. Now, umeona mama yake will be praying for her today. So all these things are possible. We are bringing all these people so that it is possible. So this is our engineer. To me, I'm a little bit much older than them, so they are like my daughters. All these speakers of today are the same age with my kids. Not to say that I'm a very old man. I'm a very old, a very young grandfather. So watoto wangu are the same age as Engineer Janeth, Gladys, Millie, and all these people here. So, karibu mama, Madam Mrs. Ester Rotich. Engineer, I think it would be better for you to introduce her so that she can pray for us ndio tuanze. So fanya hiyo introduction. We want to know if she went to a primary school as well. Alafu akaenda secondary school wapi, alafu akaenda college wapi, so that we know, these things are possible. So asante, karibu engineer.
Asante, Balozi, and it's definitely such an honor to introduce my lovely mother that she means the world to me. And I will start from where she was born. So Madam Ester Rotich was born in a place called Sarora. She grew up a simple girl too, went to a day school, managed to score good grades, went to Kapsabet Girls. And actually I have a small story about Kapsabet Girls. She went to Kapsabet Girls, and as my high school options, Kapsabet Girls was one of them. And nanilijambia, iyo mama yangu ameenda. Sasa mimi siwezi enda Kapsabet Girls. So I had to aim higher. And I just share that so I can tell you, aim higher. Whenever somebody has set a record, let that be your baseline. And my mom has always been that baseline, and I'm still trying to beat her. Now, after Kapsabet Girls, she finished, she did her A-levels, and then she went to do her graduate degree. She did education. Alafu akakuja, she has also done a master's in psychology. So she's very, that's why I really admire her. And currently is pursuing her PhD. What a lady who is just scaling the heights all the time. And I can't even get myself to, I hope I can beat her one day. After that, my mom has taught in several schools. She has taught in primary school. She has taught in secondary school. She has taught in teachers training colleges. And now you are very privileged to have her at St. Catherine with such a wealth of experience. Kwa mama yangu nimeona kitu moja yenye anapenda sana ni masomo, and really encouraging and uplifting other people and other families. It's really an honor to watch what she does. She may not have announced and she may not have said everything, but knowing her, I know she has done an amazing job, and that's why she really inspires me. Right now, I'm so happy, and I mean, what can I say as she continues to, break more records and for the family and set higher standards as we try to catch up as a watoto. And she's now going for an MCA seat. And this was totally her own idea, and she wanted to do it. And when she mentioned it to me, I was like, Mom, I will support you no matter what. I know you've been talking about all the issues that we face as a ward, as Megun, as a country, and you understand them. And I know you can do it because I have seen you do things that seem impossible, but they have always been possible. So knowing my mother is a very determined person, is a person who focuses and goes and achieves a lot of things and just wants the best for everyone. I think that is one thing I sometimes even tell myself, I wish I had half the heart that she has, because she just inspires me, and she is just incredible. So Mom, I am so privileged, and I know your students are so privileged to have you. I'm so privileged to have you as a mother and to celebrate you. And this session is totally for you, and to say goodbye to your students and to also wish them well as they go to start different things in their lives. I know they will be very much inspired, and I know they should also learn from you, or they will also learn from you, that sometimes it's time to take a next step. And I hope whenever you will be in your career, you will remember Mrs. Rotich and how she left being a teacher to go and be an MCA or a politician, or to try something new, because life is about finding the next challenge, because you never know how much you can really achieve. So keep pushing the boundaries. So with so much respect and pride, I would like to welcome my mother, Madam Ester Cherugut Rotich, to welcome us and to say a few remarks. Karibu, Ma'am. You are on mute.
Manuela.
Manuela?
Manuela, kindly unmute. Yes.
And the students for taking this time and having you. Thank you for the whole panel led by Ambassador Rono. Shadrach, we have Manuela, Janeth, Hosea, Manu, and who are with us at the ground. Thank you very much for this session. We're praying that we are going to have a wonderful session, and you're all welcome to this session. Thank you very much, and God bless you. Let us live and pray. Father, in the name of Jesus Christ, we want to thank you. Thank you for this meeting. Guide us with the word of God. As we are going to start now, you'll be with them. Guide each and every one with your word. I pray, trusting and believing in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ. Amen. Thank you very much. Welcome.
Thank you, Mrs. Rotich. Asanteni sana. So now we know the reason why we are here is to inspire the students. Nasikia kuna mitihani ambayo inakuja. So for the Form 4s who are going to be sitting for the exams, allow me to wish you the very best. Wale wako Form 3, we will probably, by the time we finish here, we will tell you some of the things because we were there. Hata sisi tulikuwa Form 3, tukakuja Form 4, tukaendelea mpaka penye tumefika. I told you earlier on that I come from a village in Nandi County, a village called Kamobo. Nikatokezea pale, nikaenda St. Patrick's High School, Iten. And then it's a long story. Mpaka nikakuja huku United States on what they call a scholarship. Tutawaelezea hiyo yote. We asked you to have a little bit of, just a piece of notebook alafu utaandika hii maneno so that, mwishowe usiseme some people are talking, at least you will pick a word. So how are we going to do this is we invited some of very, very interesting people. I see my daughter also, Nelly Rono, kutoka upande wa Nairobi, mutasikia story yake. I've seen Engineer Gladys Ngetich, who is going to be our keynote speaker. Atatuelezea. Hapo mwanzo nilisema there are different engineers. We will get to know. Mimi nilikuwa nasikianga tu engineer. Nikajua tu kuna engineer ya barabara. Anakuja kusimamia barabara. So we have engineers here. We also decided to bring people from that village so that you know and believe that it can be done. So tuko na Shadrach ambaye is from that village around Moi University. Atatuelezea, a very interesting young man. Also like my son, same age with my son. So nafikiria tutaanzia hapa hivi ndio tukiendelea mbele. So for the Form 4s, we wish you the very best. Tumeambiwa I believe I can. Ebu salamie mtu mwenye ako karibu naye ambia I believe I can. So asante, yes, we have to believe. Hii maneno lazima we have to believe ndio tuendelee. So I also want to believe that the Form 4s are going to do very well. So some of you will get A's like Engineer Janeth. Some of you will get B's. Mimi nilikuwa an average student hapo hivi, but yes, I've made it. So, we want to wish you the very best. We want to aim high so that we get some good grades. So the way we are going to go here, I'm going to have our sister or, my daughter. I think Sister Millie, you're going to start us. Sister Millie, ako upande wa Sydney, Australia. I know it's very late at night. Uko Sydney, Australia. Nimeambiwa Millie alisomea hapo Moi University pia. And then she transferred atatuelezea. And she's a wonderful lady. Kiingereza yake utasikia ni kizuri kabisa. Lakini alianzia hiyo village. And as we speak, alisomea hapo Moi University. Akaendelea. Ako masomo huko Australia. So atatuelezea amefika wapi. So we will have you know, my daughter, this is Mili Chebwambok. Mili Chebwambok, I think you will start as today, alafu ndio tutaendelea. Sister Mili.
Thank you very much, Balozi. Nawasalimu nyote katika jina la Yesu. Hamjambo tena. Balozi, you've put me in a very awkward position. I didn't expect to be the first to speak, so I might not have much to say. Anyhow, thank you so much, Balozi, for giving me this opportunity and privilege to talk to the students and teachers, and of course say goodbye to Mrs. Rotich as she endeavors to venture into the world of politics, world of chaos, world of the who is who in society. We wish you the very, very best, and we're very, very proud of you. Before I embark on what I'm supposed to do, I'll just do a brief introduction of myself. It is really, really hard to introduce oneself because sometimes you're torn between introducing who you are and introducing what you do. So I'll try to narrow to who I am, so that you can have a glimpse of who's talking to you. My name, as you've been told, is Millicent Chepwombok. I come from Nandi Hills, Nandi County. I also come from Kabore, Wazingishu County. For those who know, Abunugab Karoli, Kapchep Seba. Ingabore. Mama nenyugo kisikyo lota. Agawati ale akwekche jangi nyote ya gugine ti mama nenyuong. So I'm a bit older than you. I could be your auntie, and I'm privileged actually to be talking to you. I started school at Kabore Primary School and later went to Kapsimoto Preparatory School. I was privileged to be a pioneer at Chemelil Sugar Academy. That landed me to Nairobi University. I studied for one semester and the lecturers went on strike, indefinite strike, a strike that has never been done again in the Republic of Kenya. So I opted to go back to Baraton University, where I did my undergraduate and went to Moi University, did my master's, finished, taught Moi University for a while before I came to Australia, did another master's in Australia, and downgraded to another undergraduate, and concurrently doing an undergraduate and a PhD. So far, so good. I'm a Kalenjin girl, trying to learn and unlearn and chart my way forward. That is me. Thank you very, very much. The topic that I was told to tackle today is about relationships. Relationship is the way in which two or more people or things are related and connected, or the state of being connected. Connectedness is very, very important. We have different kinds of relationships. We have relationships between student and student. We have relationships between student and teacher. We have relationship between parents and students. And we have relationships between students and God. And of course, I'll touch a little bit on students and money, because Form 4s, after this, you're venturing into the world of yourself, yourself, and your God. So the relationship between you and money is very, very important, so that you can know how to live healthy, wealthy, and secure the future for you and your generation. Let's begin by looking at the relationship between you and your God. The Bible clearly says that seek ye first the kingdom of God, and all these other things shall be added unto you. I beseech you, kids. I beseech you, my young sisters, to kindly seek the kingdom of God. And this does not mean that when it comes to examination time, you seek God. Please serve God honestly, diligently, with all your heart, soul, and mind, and everything would run smoothly. Nobody has ever succeeded in this world without relying on God. Balozi told us the other day about a story that is told of a man who was weary and tired of doing so much. And he told God, God, lift me up. And as he went, he saw some footsteps. And he asked God, God, I told you to lift me up. And you left me alone. And God told him, hey, son, look here. When you're tired and weary, I lifted you up, and the footsteps that you're seeing are not yours, but they're my own. Biblia inatuambia, with prayer and supplication, make your requests known unto God. Pray to God and tell him exactly what you want. Sometimes we perambulate. Sisi tunapiga tu raundi, hatuambii Mungu kile ambacho tunahitaji. If you want a B grade, tell God exactly what you want. If you want an A, tell God exactly what you want. And then now you can chat a way in which you're going to get that grade. Chat away with God. Tell him, God, what am I supposed to do so that I can be able to get this grade that I want for myself? Get to know what exactly you want in life. What do you want to be? Maisha, you need to have a focus. You need to have a goal so that you can work towards that direction. Without setting clear goals for yourself, then you will meander hapa na pale, na upepo inakuja inakupiga, unaenda kulia, inakupiga, unaenda kushoto, na hivyo hivyo. Lakini if you set clear goals for yourself, I want to be a doctor. For me to be a doctor, I need to get an A. For me to get an A, A's in sciences. For me to get an A, this is what I'm going to do. I normally tell people that everybody is given by God 24 hours. What are you doing with your 24 hours? Kids, you've been given time by your parents, sacrificed their lives for you to go to a boarding school so that you can have your 24 hours in school. Please make use of your 24 hours. Hosea can tell you how much time he sleeps. Janeth can tell you how much time she sleeps. I wish we had put effort when we are in high school. We couldn't be waking up. And I usually tell people, ngotiru sahi, if you guys are going to sleep now, you will wake up when you're too old and frail and you cannot be able to work. So it's better for you to work now so that when you're old and frail, you can be able to be taken care of by the resources that you've put up, that you've invested, and you won't be able to work so hard when you're old. So make your requests known to your Lord and chart your goals very, very well. Number 2, relationship with your books. You have to have a good relationship with your books. Now, you've been given 24 hours. What are you doing with your 24 hours? How many subjects do you have? How are you handling all these subjects? Are you neglecting one for the other? If you neglect one subject for the other, what will happen is you'll have A's in the other ones and have a D in this one. That will pull your mean grade down. You won't be able to go to the university. So ensure that you have a good relationship with your books. Peruse through those books in and out. Spend time reading. Spend time knowing what exactly your teachers are teaching. Spend time to read before your teacher comes to explain what you're supposed to be doing that very day. That will make you grasp more. That will make you be ready. And that I wish we can develop a culture of reading. Janeth told us one day that she used to carry storybooks to go and graze cattle. Whether that is true or not, that is her story. But how much effort are you putting into your books? This is the only time that you have for you to determine the future of your future and the future of others, of your generations to come. So tafadhali tupende vitabu. There's a saying that goes, if you want to hide something from an African man, hide it in the books. And that is so true. For us who've traveled the world, ukipanda ndege kukuja Australia, you take about 24 hours, the least time you can take. Mzungu atasoma kitabu kutoka JKI hadi Sydney, Australia. Sisi tuko tunapiga story, or we're watching a movie, or so our love for books is still wanting. Tafadhalini, can we do a paradigm shift? Let's start loving books. If when you love books, you develop a high level of focus and concentration. When you love to read, your level of focus and concentration will go so high. In that, it will help you in the future. It will help you now and in the future, because everything else from now henceforth is about reading, developing new knowledge, developing new things, going to the moon, ensuring that you have things you have to read so that you can be able to chart your way. It helps you also to learn how to use language and make sense in the world. I usually tell people that you go to school to know how to speak English and know how to think. Hayo tu. Once you know how to think and know how to communicate, how to use your language, you can be able to conquer the world. Janeth is there at Silicon Valley, not because she was born in America, but she learned how to speak English. And now she can be able to communicate well, and she can be able to fight her space in this technology world. So it's up to you guys to choose wisely, choose to read, choose to learn and to unlearn. That way you will be able to go far. We want to avoid mediocrity, avoid average. I usually tell people, please, let's avoid average. When you get average grades, you go to an average university. You do an average course in the university. You get an average job that will get you an average salary, and you live an average life. Get average children who will go to average schools, and it becomes a vicious circle. The love of books will get you places. If you get very high grades, you will get a good course that will land you to a good salary. You will get married to a beautiful wife who wants a huge salary, and get brilliant kids who will go to very high caliber schools, and your life is sorted in the future. Number 3, avoid procrastination. Tafadhali, whatever you can do now, just do it and get rid of it. Hizi mambo ya kusema nitafanya kesho, tomorrow will never come. Avoid procrastination. Whatever you can do it today, do it. Get done with it and finish it and move. And hiyo yote itaisha. And that way, life becomes a bit more bearable. Let's avoid average, avoid procrastination, love for books. The third one is teacher-student relationship, and the vice versa. Why do I say the vice versa? Teachers have a responsibility to ensure that their kids are in better relationships as well. I remember when I was in the university, I was a teacher at the university, or a lecturer, you might call it. And one of our professors asked us what we whom we looked up to. And none of us, majority mentioned Bob Collymore, some said Kipngetich of then Wildlife Services, and others said Oigara of KCB. Nobody mentioned anyone in academia. And remember, we were in academia, meaning there's a bit or less impact of teachers to our students. What are you doing as a teacher to impact on your student? Are you mentors of your students? Do your students look up to you? Do your students admire you? Do your students want to be like you in the future? Or they wish they hadn't met you? Anyway, students don't wish to not to have met you, teachers. What I'm trying to say is, let's be there for our students so that we have that relation. Once we have a beautiful teacher-student relationship, then the approach becomes a bit easier. The students can be able to approach us easily. The students can be able to ask us questions easily. Then the students can be able to rely on us. We can be able to hold their hands and show them the way. Teacher-student relationship. For the students, you have to respect your teacher, regardless of what they do unto you. Punishments have to be there. We were beaten for no reason. We were beaten just so that we don't even think of making mistakes, but we did not complain. Look at where we are now. We are who we are because of our teachers. 3/4 of your time of your entire life is spent with your teachers. So respect your teachers. Let them guide you. They're your parents at school. So let them guide you in everything and in every way. That way you will go far. There's a difference between a student who respects their teachers and a student who doesn't respect your teachers. Kids, why should we ban schools, for example? Why can't we speak to our teachers? What are we afraid of? Why can't we tell them? And what is the worst that can happen if you told your teacher, I'm not contented with A, B, and C? The worst they can do is beat you up, but at least you have told them. And that is why I started from a point of a teacher-student relationship. Because if there's a sour relationship from the teacher's angle, then it becomes really hard for our students to approach you. But if the relationship is cordial and more friendly, then it becomes really easy for students to approach our teachers. And this banning of schools, these stress levels in schools will really come down. So we should actually try to build or coexist or a very beautiful relationship with our teachers. And how can teachers help our students open up? Let's attend their activities. Attend the activities whenever you have an opportunity to attend. Spend one-on-one time with those students. That way they can be able to rely on you and tell you what is disturbing them, and all these other things that they would have done or by themselves, or the decisions they would have done themselves will be cut to a very minimal level. Look for something to commend about them. Try to give credit where it's due. If, for example, your student has improved, give them try to give them an accolade. Try to give them a gift. Try to commend them, so that they can be able, so that relationship is built and that trust is also reciprocated from the kids, and develop an interest in their interest. Times have changed, that our times are not their times and our times are not your times. So develop an interest in them. Let's attend students' events. That way we will be able to create a very cordial relationship, and the relationship and build trust between us and our teachers. And lastly, last but not least, relationship with our family or relationship with our parents. Let's respect our parents. Candidates, you're now going out to be with your parents. Majority of you have spent 3/4 of your life in school, where there are rules and regulations to be followed. Please don't go home and feel like you have conquered the world and you're now free molecule. You're not off the hook yet. Wengi watasema hatupangwingwi, lazima tupangwe. Mimi bado ninapangwa. Balozi bado anapangwa. Mrs. Rotich anapangwa na mama yake. Kila mtu yopangwa. So these sisi sote lazima tupangwe. So tafadhalini, as you go out into the world, respect everyone. And regardless of who you're going to meet, respect is paramount. If you're not going to respect your parents, that means you're not going to be respectful at your workplace. And what happens to you? You'll be fired, and jobs are not easy to come by. So respect is paramount. You have to have good relationship with your parents and anybody else who's older or younger than you. Last but not least, relationship with money. I, for example, had a very bad relationship with money until I enrolled myself in a course so that I can have a good relationship with money. When you go out there, ensure that you have when you start earning money, ensure that you have savings for yourself. Kula kidogo, bakisha kidogo. Pay yourself first. Have a savings account. Kama unapata elfu kumi, ensure that 3,000 imewekwa kando for your investments. Now, usiogope kutumia pesa. Ensure that you use money to make money. If you fear using money, then it becomes really hard for you. Some of us have what do we call this? Poor man's mentality. Poor man's mentality is unapata pesa unataka kuskwanda yote. That is very wrong. Try to save some money for tomorrow. Hata siafu wanakulanga kidogo, wanaika kidogo because they don't know what the future holds for them. That and so much is about relationship. Thank you, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Mili Chevwambok from Kabore and Parasentu, that is in Nandi Hills and that area. So I'm not going to go very far. So naona the Penyeui Ako, that is Sydney, Australia, a very beautiful city. It is good to believe that, yes, hata mimi nitafika huko, we will see other cities as well. From Kabore, we are going to go not too far from the village. We will go for the boy child. This is my son, Shadrach Kipchirchir. To just introduce Shadrach Kipchirchir, he's going to tell us what village he's from in that area of Moi University. We're still hanging around Moi University. We want you girls to believe that, yes, it can be done from that village to somewhere. So, Shadrach Kipchirchir, while my daughter was talking, this is Mili. Amesema to avoid average hapo hivi. And Mili, I was average, but I will tell these students later why I decided being an average. I knew very, very well because ndawaambia mwisho pale hivi ndawaambia how my life started. Mimi, I was an average student. First of all, I didn't even want to go to school. Mimi sikuwa nataka niende shule, and my mother encouraged me not to go to school. So it's very interesting for me By the time I went, I was late. But I will tell you what I did to be able to move from that average to where I am today. Shadrach Kipchirchir came to the US on what they call a track scholarship. Yani unakimbia ndio upate scholarship. As you see me also, nilikuja na hiyo track scholarship. I knew my family was, tukukuwa na pesa, mimi, it was hard. Nikaona, the only way for me was to run. And I ran very well. I was like this guy. That is not me. That is Shadrach Kipchirchir. We came to tell them what we are doing or what we did to be able to get education. So what I'm telling you is you can use talent to get your education. Me and Shadrach Kipchirchir did not pay even a single cent. Mimi sikulipa hata ndururu ndio niende university. Mimi, I got a scholarship, nikaenda shule, nikalipiwa na kila kitu. As you see Shadrach here, you see him with the most powerful man in the world. That is Barack Obama. Na hii sio picha ile ya kupigwa tu. This is real. So huyu jamaa amekutana na huyo president wa America. Na Shadrach Kipchirchir, umeona picha pale nyuma, hapa hivi, you all know who is Eliud Kipchoge, the guy in the middle there. This is right here is Shadrach Kipchirchir. He was among those people who made history huko Austria. Akikimbia hiyo ilikuwa inaitwa Ineos. So he was among the best setters, so he's made history. This is the same man from the village where you are. Your school or your high school is actually located in his village. So all these things can be done. It is possible. If you believe in yourself, yes, it can be done. So with that few remarks, I would like to invite Shadrach Kipchirchir. Atatuambia village yake, atatuambia primary ile alienda, atatuambia how he came to America. As we speak right now, yeye ni engineer. So mimi nilikuwa tunajua engineer ya barabara, so huyu jamaa atatuambia yeye ni engineer ya nini. Kwa sababu tumepata, we found out that Janeth is an engineer of technology. So we will get to know also what this engineer is engineer for. Shadrach Kipchirchir, and tell us please, I don't know what you are engineer ya nini, kumbe engineers ni wengi kabisa ama ni mingi. So karibu engineer Shadrach Kipchirchir. This is a man who's made things possible. It can be done. Karibu Shadrach.
Thank you so much, Balosi, Janeth, and Madam Rotich for inviting me to this occasion. I'm really excited to be back home. Kesses is almost my village. I come from Kaptengut. Kaptengut is around 6 kilometers from Kesses, so I feel at home. I've been to St. Catherine. It was not St. Catherine by then, it was Kesses High School, I believe. And yeah, I've been there. I know the village and I grew up there. So I went to school to Luamgetun Primary School from class 1 to class 8. After that, I went to Cabos Boys High School. That's in Keyo. And I graduated high school in 2008. That's like 2008, and I got a C+, so I was kind of average, not like like most of you guys here. You guys went to Ivy League schools and stuff. So yeah, I had a C+, and after that I stayed for a few months, and I was fortunate enough to get a scholarship, athletic scholarship in the United States. That was in January of 2010. So from there, I came to Western Kentucky University for 1 year and transferred to Oklahoma State University and graduated with bachelor degree of civil engineering in 2014. 2014, after I graduated from college, I joined the military, U.S. Army, here in the United States, and served for 4 years, from 2014 to 2018. And while I was in the Army, I was a professional athlete. I was running for the U.S. Army. So I was just double dipping, like just running and serving in the United States Army. And after 2018, I got out and landed a deal with the most powerful shoe contract in the world. That's Nike. So I'm currently with Nike since 2018 to now as a professional athlete. And I'm also an engineer, so I'm not using my engineering degree now, but God has blessed me with my talent to run. So that's my hometown now, Colorado Springs, Colorado, and that's where I train and I pursue my career now as a professional athlete. So you've seen the picture there. I've been with Elliot, facing Elliot. I've gone to Olympics. I've gone to multiple world championships, like almost 5. And I've literally gone to every country in the world, like all 50 states in the United States. I've gone to every country in Europe, like most of them, not all of them, but most of them. I've only not gone to Australia, so hopefully I'll come next year. So I'm really fortunate and blessed that my talent has taken me, I've traveled a lot, I've seen a lot, and, I thank God for that. I thank God for that. And yeah, I've seen a lot of stuff and it's God, it's God. And as Balose talk about it, the word believe, I love using that word, to believe. I grew up as I was a village boy in Captain Wood, like Janeth, I used to grace the girls again in a place called Mo University. We went I went through the same stuff. And Hosea knows too, and Millie happens to be my relative. My mom and Millie are sisters. So from your introduction, I was kind of like, had my heart melted when I had Caparoli, and my mom comes from Caparoli. So thank you so much. I've not met you in person, but, glad to see you here. So yeah, I grew up as a, average young boy. We went through normal life, praise cows. We went to school from class 1 to class 8. I used to go barefoot, like not like any other normal student, pupil. Or so yeah. So I went through the same livelihood as any other average student. Life was great. Life was great. But what helped me was the belief. I believe on myself. Like, I don't want to stay like most of the people I see. They graduate high school and they stay at the village. I was like, I'm not going to stay like these people. I am a shy boy. I used to be really shy. I'm still shy today, but I used to be shy and not talk by my action speak louder than what I used to just like find my way out. I remember when I was in Form 2, I was like, I'm not gonna study in Kenya. My goal is to graduate high school and go to US. I don't know how, but I'm gonna go. So I believe on that. But when I graduated, I got a C+. I found ways that if you wanna go to United States, and get your school paid for free, you have to run. Remember in high school, I used to pretend that I used to be a soccer player, but I used not to make any team. They used not to select me to any team because I was really tired. You saw that photo right there, and after high school, I told myself, okay, what next? That's where the life begins. So, and then you have to decide on yourself what to do. We are all at the bottom. We have two choices. Either you get up or you stay down. And I chose like, okay, I'm gonna go to United States, and the best way for me, is to go through athletic scholarship. Most people go through, academic scholarship. If you are blessed on that, like Janeth, you can go through that. But for me, I was fortunate enough to go through athletic scholarship. Same to Ambassador Peter Rono. I used to watch you around a lot, and you inspired us a lot. You inspired me, Peter Rono, and you paved way for most of us. So when I secured that scholarship, a lot of challenges came. Coming to United States, there is culture shock. Janeth can tell you, and most of the guys here, there's culture shock and everything. But I had to bulldoze through that. I was doing a really, really hard course, civil engineering. That is, I was concentrating in both horizontal and vertical for the heavy highways and for the buildings. So it was really, really hard for me. Remember, I got a C plus in high school, and I had to dig hard in United States to graduate, to be able to graduate with a bachelor's degree in civil engineering. At the same time, I was a student athlete. So you have to balance between academics and running. That's hard. Like, you have to be able to run really well to maintain your scholarship. I remember average my scholarship per year is $40,000. That's 4 million Kenyan shillings every year. If I was not able to run, I'll have to pay out of my pocket, or my parents will have paid for it, for which they couldn't do it. So I had to fight my way through, like, I have to do it. And, you know, I always believe that everything is possible. Everything is possible. You know, I always like using the quote of Steve Harvey that you got to jump to make it is in life. You know, when you are at the cliff, you got to jump. You have to take that leap, faith, and jump. If you don't jump, your parachute will not open. It won't open. And if you jump, it might not open immediately, but it will open at the end of the day. You know, it gonna open, but you better jump. If you don't jump, you will stay, you remain the same. I know a lot of people that we went to school together, they are still back in Captain Wood, or, you know, Kesses or whatever, you know. But I took that faith and, you know, took control of my life. You know, your parents sacrificed a lot. Girls, they sacrifice a lot. You know, I know. I came from the same, you know, the same level as most of you guys. You know, they have to sell cows, you know, sell maize and everything in order for you to get a good education. And don't take that for granted. Make better use of it. You know, don't waste any resources that your parents sacrifice. You know, they're sacrificing a lot. I know a lot. Most of them are sacrificing a lot. So don't take it for granted. Make better use of it. You know, after graduating high school, whatever you get, don't give up. Just find your way. If you believe, if you what you believe and see it, you can hold it in your hand. Don't let anyone tell you that you can't do it. You can do it. You know, I'm a testimony here. You know, like I told you, I come from Captain Wood. I was an average student, but here I am. You know, I don't regret for what I did. I have most of the stuff that I've dreamt for. Like, literally, when I see some stuff that I have, you know, I was like, wow, is this mine? Like, and I thank God for that. And I sometimes dream, I like, oh, if I had not decided this, where will I be now? You know, I'll be in Kesses now, center there, or Captain Wood, just, you know, roaming around. And I get scared, like, okay, I gotta dream bigger. Dreams are free. It's free for everyone. But the hustle, you have to dig it by yourself. You can dream like everybody. Dream are free. They are free to everyone. So, but you have to hustle by yourself. And then the decision is all yours. You have to decide. You just have to decide, like, the power of a tongue. If you just talk, ukiongea tu hivi na uamini, the how to do it comes automatically. It will automatically comes. There's a lot of decision I've made in my life. Like, you know, I remember in the Olympic trials in 2016, you know, I was ranked almost number 11 going to the trials. And then to make the Olympic team, you have to be top 3. I was an underdog. Like, nobody believed that I could make the Olympic team. And I remember, like, you know, I was doing, like, I'm a 10,000 meter runner, and halfway to go, one of the main competitors just took off and go. And I made a decision, like, what should I do? Should I follow him or stay? You know, I don't want to be like, I decided, like, I'm going to follow him. And that's how my life started. If I had not made that decision to follow that guy, I will not be here right now. I will have not. I remember when I finished the race, I got a call from Nike, like, hey, you know, like, nobody calls you. Like, Nike is a big company, and for them to call you is a big deal. And they called me, and I'm with Nike from that day to now. And if I had not made that decision to follow that guy and make the Olympic team, I'll be right. I don't know where I'll be. You know, I don't know, but it's God. So what I'm trying to tell you is, like, you know, believe in yourself. Believe that you can do it. Don't Don't let anyone tell you that you cannot do it. Don't. Just find your way through it and do it. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. Don't, like, nothing in this world is impossible. It's impossible. Nothing. I remember, like, I was sitting there, like, like with you guys in like 2008, like in the same shoe as you guys. I remember, like I told you, I used to be shy, but I always find a way, just research to make a better life for myself. I always do that. And once I set my eyes there, nobody gonna stop me. I'm gonna fight for it, and I'm gonna get it. Like, no matter what, there's no dreams that are really high. Like, and then I always try to use the word, like, if it doesn't scare you, you are not trying enough. In life, you have to fall down. I fell down a couple times, a lot of them. And that is the most important time in my life. When I'm always down, I get hardened off. I learn a lot. And once I get up, I'm always better than before. So in life, don't be scared. Just go through it. Like I told you, you gotta jump and the parachute will not open right away. You're gonna go through a lot of challenges. And if you don't give up, eventually the fruits will, you'll enjoy the fruits eventually. So what I'm telling you guys, you guys are lucky. You got all of these great speakers here. My time, I didn't have that. We had to find our way ourselves. But you guys are fortunate enough. You have great teachers, and you have all of these great mentors here. So just listen what they're telling you. Obey your parents, and everything gonna come up really well. So, and mom, as you called this crazy world, my dad was a counselor a while ago. I know you know him. I've not met you in person, but it's fun. And I'm glad you are taking that action. We need people like you. We need more ladies in this political world. We need them. No better person, no better candidates than you. When you go there, use integrity. Be selfless service. Like, put the needs of the people before yours. Just use that integrity. Prayers and everything will come through. And don't be scared. It's gonna be rough. At first, it's gonna be rough, but don't listen to what people are saying, and just focus on the positive side. That's what I use a lot. When I hear negative sides, I don't concentrate on that a lot, but I focus on the positive side. My dad was a counselor, and most of the time when I was growing up, a lot of people came to my house, and I was really happy to see how he was helping people, with their rambles, with the bursaries, getting birth certificates and all of those stuff. And I was really, my dad is, I'm blessed to have him. And, I saw him helping a lot of people. So when you go there, don't be intimidated that you are a lady. You are going to an occupation that are mostly men. So, but it just needs one person to start it, and if you don't do it, no one else gonna do it. So pave way for those girls. Like, have courage, don't be scared, and you can do it. And from your resume that I've had, I think you are the best candidate, and don't be scared. So I'm really proud of you, and I'm excited to see what comes ahead of you. So thank you so much, Balosi. Thank you, everyone, and
thank you. Thank you, Shadrach. Before you go, the students are sitting over there. I'm watching, all these guys are watching. Hosea, we saw a picture of him and Obama. So the question I will ask you, uliambia nini yo mjamaa ulipokutana na yeye? So, to be able to, like, you meet a president, the most powerful person in the world. What did you tell him? Uliambia wewe ni nani, unafanya, I don't know, What did you tell the president of the United States, or the most powerful man in the world?
So, okay, actually, this is not the first time I met him. So I met him the first time in 2012. And in 2012, I was still in college. And when I saw him coming through, I got scared. I was like, oh, it's real. Nikiendanga huko nilikuwa nasema tu simuogopi, I have to talk to him from Kenya, all of those good stuff. But when I saw him, I got scared and, but this is 2016 after the Olympics. And when I met him, I was like, I promised myself to talk, to speak out. And I told him, thank you so much, Mr. President. It's a dream come true to meet you. I'm from Kenya. And he was like, no, I talk like that. I told him, thank you so much, Mr. President. It's a dream come true to meet you. And he was like, thank you so much, young man. Where are you from? I can hear an accent. I was like, I'm from Kenya, Mr. President. And he was like, oh yeah, thank you. And then he told me Jambo. And that's it, yeah. I was really proud of that, yeah.
All right. So wanafunzi, the reason why I'm asking this is kitab kwa Tengut, unatoka kwa Tengut and then unakutana na president. It is possible. Hii maneno sio, they are not just stories. It is possible. It can be done. Tumesikia kutoka our friend here that you have to dream. Wanafunzi, if you are not dreaming, you have a problem. It is free to dream anyway. So let's dream. It is free to dream. So we have to dream. I dream a lot. I wanted to be. I started. Mimi na kama huyu jamaa. I started telling wanafunzi when I was in Form 2. Mimi nilianza safari yangu nikiwa Form 2. Nikaambia wanafunzi mimi naenda America. So until by the time niko Form 3 huko watu wameniambia utaenda wapi in America. I didn't even know where I was going. But it is good to start dreaming early. Mimi, by the time I was in Form 4, nilikuwa nimesave. My ticket to come to America was 11,000 Kenya shillings. That is way back. Mimi, I had saved 9,000 Kenya shillings because I knew I was going, and I'm a prayerful person. Mimi uomba. I don't want to say I'm a fully Christian. Mimi nikuweka scale. I'm about, 5%, but I pray a lot. So here I am, nimekaa America, nimesunguka, mimi ni kama huyu jamaa. I've traveled so much. Kipchirchir, I've been to Australia. And you see there, this is me, the young fellow here. I happen to be an Olympic champion. Statistics says, I want you to write that. Statistics says, to be able to meet an Olympic champion, it takes 3 million people. So you in 3 million people, you will meet one. So umekutana na moja. So munipigie tu makofi kwa kukutana na mimi. Thank you so much. I won the Olympics when I was in college, when I was a student. I represented Kenya when I was in Form 2. Nilianza kwenda nje nikiwa Form 2. I will tell you that later. Without talking so much, I want you to start believing, I believe I can. That is the theme of the day. So, mimi nataka mkaribishe our keynote speaker of today. Before I do that, this is a very wonderful, wonderful lady. I call her my daughter. She's wonderful, wonderful. It's amazing to have people like this. You are very lucky, St. Catherine's, to be able to have 3 or 4 engineers talking to you today. Kama Kipchirchir, Asia tukupata engineers talking to us. But Iten, we used to get wonderful people as well. But we have a wonderful engineer here. I will invite Engineer Janeth to introduce a fellow engineer. She's wonderful. For me, I look at her, she's young. She has written books, or she has written a book. She's in a very prestigious university in the world. If you get to go there, your university ukienda penye yako sahi, even if you are not smart, ukifika tu compound, you will feel that you are smart also, just to be in the compound of the university. It's a very beautiful institution where she is. Engineer Janeth, let me invite you so that you can introduce our next speaker. Karibu engineer. You are muted, Janeth. You are muted, Janeth. You are muted.
My bad.
Unmute.
Thank you. I was saying, it's such an honor and actually very humbling to be introducing our keynote speaker for today, who is Dr. Gladys Chepkirui-Ngetich. She is somebody that I personally really admire, I look up to. She has accomplished so much, and we are so privileged today to have her. And I will just quickly, introduce her, and then we will continue to have our other guests. So Engineer Gladys started from, she will say a lot, but I'll just quickly touch on a few things about her. As you can see her here, she works with jet engines, plane engines. She's an engineer. It's one thing I wish I could do, but I'm so glad to have met somebody who can do it. So this is Engineer Gladys. She's an author. She's also the founder of ILU. It's a nonprofit. She is a Rhodes Scholar. She started from just Kenyatta University. She will say more about herself, but I just wanted to highlight those things. From very humble beginnings, an engineer will tell you that she started going to school without shoes. Hakuwa na viatu akianza, went to just some average school, worked very hard, worked her way, and now she's at MIT. MIT is one of the top universities in the world. If you want the epitome of engineering, that happens at MIT. And we're so privileged today to have our Dr. Engineer Gladys Rotich. Karibu sana Gladys, and
Engineer Janeth,
better.
Engineer Janeth, you didn't say that she came from Oxford. Unajua, unatoka shule top in the world, and then you go to another top in the world. So alitoka huko Oxford.
Yes. So Engineer Gladys is a Rhodes Scholar, as I mentioned, and Rhodes Scholarship was at Oxford. And then from Oxford, she went to, that was in the UK. And from there, she came to the US. So she's just traveling the world and doing incredible things, designing jet engines, designing plane engines. It's something I think the next phase, she'll probably tell us, maybe she's even designing engines for rockets to go to Mars. I don't know. But engineer, karibu sana. Let's tell the students that they can, and it's really possible. And I know your story really embodies that, from using all parts of possibilities, education, talent, networking, everything. Karibu Engineer Gladys.
Oh, thank you so much, Janeth. I really appreciate your kind introduction. I don't know where to start. I feel like you've given so much good information, kind introduction. Thank you. So I will start by saying, I don't know. I wanted to be the last one, but I now regret, because Shadrach and Millie, they've just like raised the bar. So I have to try and catch up. So forgive me if I don't get there, but I'll try my best. And thanks, Janeth, Balozi, Hosea, for organizing and helping Zoom us to St. Catherine. I think I like this new world where we can interact around the globe through Zoom. And it's so much, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. Thanks for having me. And so nice to see St. Catherine girls. It takes me back to 2005 when I was in Form 1. And before, now I like to talk a lot. So Janeth, you tell me when I exceed my time. And because I know I like to talk a lot, I just want to say, first of all, thanks to Mrs. Rotich. And I also want to, like other speakers have said, wish you the best as you start the next phase of your journey. I'm sure you're gonna do amazing. And we need more women representing us in politics and all over the place. So you have my blessings and my prayers. So before I begin, I know I can see some students, I think they are already dozing back there. Can we just like stand and stretch? I know I won't be able to hear you, but I want you to stand, stretch, smile. Just 1 minute. Everyone just stand and then stretch, and then we sit back down.
Tusimame wote.
Tusimame, to stretch. Just 1 minute, and then we begin. Okay, you can stretch where you are. Stretch. And then smile. Najua sitaona smile because of the mask, but I want to see the cheeks. So smile. Smile, 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 smile. Saint Catherine, eh? Saint Catherine, ah. Nice, nice. Now let's settle down. Bas, aya, now tunaweza keti. So I will share. I don't know if I can share my screen, Janeth, but let me see. Oh yes. So while I'm going to while I'm going through my story, I'm just going to share, just so you know. I think Janeth mentioned that I come from small beginnings. This is how small my beginnings are. So throughout this talk, I'm going to be sharing some photos here and there. So we start from here. Janeth, people can see my screen?
Yes, we can see your screen.
Okay. So we are going to start from here. And like I mentioned, I like to talk a lot. And in case I get derailed, I want the students at the end of this conversation, I'm going to just leave you with 3 messages. The first message is, no condition is permanent. For those who are writing it down, no condition is permanent. Number 2 is, dream bold dreams, or like they say, dream big dreams. And then number 3 is, be yourself. So throughout my story, you're going to hear all those 3 themes. No condition is permanent, be yourself, and then dream bold dreams. Now we start from, I was born and raised in Olengurwani. For those who are from Olengurwani, or those who know where Olengurwani is, somewhere in Molo. So I was born and raised in Olengurwani. I was born in 1991, May of 1991. This is me, and this is my sister. So this is a random picture that I got the other day, and our radio, a red radio there. That was, I think, I don't know, I was 3 years thereabout in this photo. But anyway, so I will try and fast forward to high school, because I think that is where it is relatable to you guys. So the reason why I say no condition is permanent is from where I was born and raised. I went to local primary school. I was raised in a normal village, and I know those who have mad houses, you understand, you can relate to this. Some of you don't relate, you are very lucky, but I imagine most of you will relate to this kind of activity that we used to do most of the weekends and holidays. So I started at Lelai Bay Primary School, and this is one of the hobbies, forced hobbies, because I didn't like it. And in 2004, I scored 298 marks. I think people know me because of the marks that I got. 298 marks is what I got in 2004. And just in case, just to put it in context, remember the leading candidates that time had 472. So scoring 298 I was on the lower side of the national ranks. I'm sure Janeth scored double my marks. But anyway, that's why I'm saying no condition is permanent, because from that 298 over time, I've gotten to where I am now. So just in case you are in Form 1, just in case you are in Form 4 and you don't like where you are, just in case the marks you're getting, you don't like them, that condition is not permanent unless you want it to be, so you can change it. With 298 marks, I had 45% in English. Some of my friends, they still make fun of me. They tell me if Oxford University produces some of the best Oxford dictionaries in the world. So my friends tell me if Oxford University knew that I had 45% in English, barely around 15 years ago, they would not have given me admission. I agree to some extent, but I said no condition is permanent. You can still redeem yourself. With 45% in English, it was very difficult, and 298 overall marks, it was very difficult to secure a position or a chance in a good school. So we ended up moving from one school to another, asking for permission to sit for entry exams, and I finally got admitted to Massagalti in Kipkelion. I don't know if you guys know, but it's around Kericho area. This was me, 2005, and my best friend Milka. So this was me. And I don't know, was this first month? We were so excited, like it's the first time, this was the first time wearing a tie, like a nice uniform and shoes and socks. And for the first time, I don't have to smear houses, I don't have to cook, I don't have to clean. And you can imagine if you come from a place where you were doing all those chores and all of a sudden what you have to do in a boarding school is just study. I was in paradise, and I'm not kidding you. When people are complaining about what they don't like Master girls or what they don't like what and what, I didn't understand them, because for me, I was in paradise. And I like saying, so people ask me, what do you think helped you to move from 298 marks to A-? I got A- of 80 points at the end of high school. Number one, for sure, 100%. Number one reason is gratitude. And I like to say, if you don't appreciate where you are, if you are not grateful about the resources that you have, if you don't appreciate the teachers that you have, if you don't appreciate the cooks that cook your food, if you don't appreciate your school, there is no way you're going to pass. Like even the marks that you will get, maybe you would have gotten better marks. So when I look back to when I was in high school, for me, from day one, it was paradise for me. And I used to like, our headmistress used to say, this is your alliance. And for me, by the way, Master Girls was my alliance, because I came from a very small primary school. And so just to encourage you, if you want to go find life, wherever you are, you have to appreciate, you have to settle down, and you have to be grateful for that. And then that's when you can make the best out of it. So that's another lesson. And in high school, so the reason why I say no condition is permanent, so from 45% in English, and I say no condition is permanent unless you want it to be. So for me, I do not want it to be. I was hungry. I wanted to improve my English. I couldn't speak the way I'm speaking now. And I used to speak broken English. Now, I remember during break time, I used to be, people used to like, my colleagues used to like coming close to me or accompanying me during break time, because they were laughing the entire time. And the whole time I didn't understand why they were laughing. Kumbe, I was speaking in broken English, in Kalenjin accent, I was just funny. And then as you can see, this uniform, I was very tiny, and you hata unaona shati, the blouse inakaa kama long sleeve, right? And then the skirt was something else, because they had, I think the uniform they had measured for an average size of a teenage girl, but I was smaller than that. So I looked like a cartoon, and I talked in a funny way. So I think I was just a walking comical thing. So I remember during break times, ningepiga story, nasema, oh, mamangu akanipika, and people are laughing. Mi naongeza volume, naongeza uongo, because I feel like I'm entertaining people, but I didn't understand that they were laughing because of my accent and the way I was talking. But anyway, no condition is permanent, because me, I wanted to improve in that English. So nikaendea mwalimu, my high school English teacher anaitwa Madam Karano. So I went to Madam Karano, nikamwambia Madam Karano, I want to improve. And one thing, if you don't know, teachers wanapenda students who come to them and say, I have a problem in this subject and in this subject, and I want to improve. And Madam Karano was so kind, and so she gave me compositions. I used to write, I think, 3 compositions per week. So when I say no condition is permanent, and unless you want to change, you really have to want it, and you have to take, and you have to accept that you're going to make extra effort. So I used to write on average at least 3 compositions in a week. And fast forward, yule msichana aliingia shule na 45% English. End up 4 years later, just because of wanting to improve and not being satisfied by where I was, and realizing that there was my English condition was not permanent. I ended up leading my school. So at the end of 4 years, nilikuwa na B+. Imagine I was leading. Like, I even don't know how it happened. But anyway, somehow I know, because I was hungry and I wanted to lead. So I was leading in my school in English. In fact, I think one of my compositions, we used to do mock examinations with Nandi Central schools. And during mocks, I was number 17 overall. And I think my composition was among the top. Can you imagine? Just to let you know that no condition is permanent. And if you are in Form 1, Form 2, Form 3, you still have a lot of chances. Even if you are in Form 4, whatever you are going to get, umesikia Shadrach, umesikia Mili akiongea, umesikia Balozi Rono akisema, you can still get to where you want to go, but you've got to want it. You've got to be hungry, and you should not be satisfied with that. You have to want it to change. Now with 298, so English kwanza imekuwa better, and then that helped me. Now from 298 nikakuwa na 80, and 80 points, A-. And I wanted to do engineering. So I will pause there before even I go to the engineering and I take you through my journey, brief journey in undergraduate at JKUAT, nilienda Jomo Kenyatta University. I want to touch on something very important. And I know for me, for sure, it changed my life. And I wouldn't be here. Janeth alikuwa mentioned that I was a Rhodes Scholar. Rhodes Scholarship is one of the best scholarships in the world. Singepata Rhodes Scholarship kama ingekuwa one thing. And that leads me to be yourself. So when in our high school at Master Girls, I don't know about you guys at St. Catherine, but our school was so passionate about being a well-rounded student. Our headmistress did not like people who were number 1 in class and they were not doing anything else. In fact, ile list, badala, and when I look back, I'm really grateful that there was that system. So shule yetu badala tulikuwa na list ya number 1, number 2, number 3 in academics. And then tulikuwa na list, headmistress list, number 1, number 2, number 3, which ilikuwa, you have to be doing something, you have to be doing well in class and doing something outside class for you to appear in that top 3 list. And I ended up, because I was napenda mbio, na utaona, I will show you some pictures. My athletics is not at the level ya Balozi Rono and Shadrach, but nilifanya university and high school and even primary nilikuwa napenda sports. So the reason why I'm touching on this is because during that time, now because our school, our headmistress wanted us to be well-rounded, even the academic, the normal 1, 2, 3, mahali tu mtu anaona, huyu amepata highest marks in class, it ended up being less desired list. Everyone wanted to be in the headmistress list because kulikuwa na mazawadi, and then munge announcewa in assembly. So kama ulikuwa tu number 1, number 2, number 3, no one would care about you. Like you were just number 1, number 2, number 3. But if you appeared in the headmistress list, you were the queen of the school. And then it happened that mimi nilikuwa napenda mbio na nilikuwa nacheza football. And then nilikuwa napita class. So I was like, from 1, I was top 4, and then top 3, and then later on number 1 when I was in Form 3 and Form 4. And I was playing soccer and I was running. So it happened that I was consistently on that top 3 list over headmistress list. And the reason why our headmistress alikuwa anapenda hiyo is because our motto was education for service. And she used to ask a question, which I still ask myself. And I think if we keep asking ourselves this question, we will make the world better. Why are we going to school? Is it just for A's? Is it ukipata 500 out of 500, but you are in discipline? Is that it? In our school, if you are in discipline, you are not going to appear in top list, even if you scored everything. And when I look back, I really like that, because we are getting educated so that we serve people, be it through our career, whatever tumesomea, or even outside, like lending your time and your resources to serve your neighbor, to serve someone, that you are willing to pause and help your neighbor. Kama ana struggle na maths and you're really good, instead of looking at it like you are wasting 5 minutes of your time, you look at it like you are serving. And our school literally adored education for service. And prefect, anyone in leadership position, it was not privilege. It was actually position of service. And if you're selected as a prefect, watu wako wanapenda, because it means you are serving people. If you are prefect, you are the last to eat. You come a bathroom, say kuosha, you don't go and tell students waende waoshe, you go wash yourself. And our administrators alikuwa believe that you don't force people, you lead by example. But anyway, that aside, the reason why I bring this up is because it changed my life. And the reason why I say it changed my life is because kulikuwa na hiyo notion, even in as much as our school walikuwa wanataka all-roundedness, but there was that notion that if you participate in extracurricular activities, that your education will go down. In fact, in my case, they've been complementing each other. Nikienda kucheza, inanikumbusha that I don't have a lot of time, because I know I have to go to the grounds later to kucheza, and so you utilize the time that you have. And then also it keeps you fit, and then it kind of also gives you something to look forward to, and you become overall you become happier, at least from my experience. So even from high school, when I went to uni at JQuad, watu walikuwa naona pia you are wasting time if you're doing something outside class. But for me, because nilikuwa najua nilikuwa nimefanya hii before, I continued. And then fast forward in 2014, November of 2014, I still remember 6th November of 2014, nimekaa sasa kwa panel. I'm interviewing for this Rhodes Scholarship. This Rhodes Scholarship is supposed to take me to the University of Oxford. University of Oxford is one of the best universities in the world. And then nakumbuka tu nikiulizwa kitu moja. So by that time I was going for a first class. I had all the A's and all the points that were needed for a first class, and I had one semester left. And they asked me, Gladys, outside this first class, ni nini ingine unaleta? And confidently, and I was so happy that I maintained my sports and my leadership roles. So immediately tu nikawambia, oh, mi naleta 7 medals. By that time nilikuwa in university nilikuwa na 7 medals from football, from not like ile high running, but ilikuwa ile it was university. And then nikawambia, I'm also bringing leadership roles, and that's how I got the scholarship. So the reason why I'm saying be yourself and use the energies that God has given you. Kama Mungu amekupea certain talent, it will be a curse if you hide it or if you don't use it. So whatever talent that you have, do not hide it. Do not let it run inactive. Use it. And I'm sure you can balance, for sure. You can balance your academics and you can balance your talent. And you never know. You never know where that talent will lead you to. For me, it's led me to University of Oxford, and then now it may let at the MIT here in the US. MIT was another great university. Na singekuwa hapa kama ingekuwa extracurricular activities. Just so to say, it can help you. So don't kill it and don't let it lie idle. Now we go to dreaming bold dreams. So nimetoka kuwaonyesha where I started from. And mimi, I wanted to, at the end of high school, nilikuwa najua, I grew up after 4 brothers. Na wawili kati yao 4 walifanya engineering, moja civil engineering, moja mechanical engineering. So at the end of high school, me, I was sure I wanted to do engineering, and particularly mechanical engineering. Na nakumbuka nikiambiwa, oh, mechanical engineering ni si ya wasichana, utafuta course ingine. And I don't blame watu wenye walinipea your advice, because for them hawakuwa wameona a mechanical engineer who is a woman, or generally an engineer who is a woman, because of the village mahali tumetoka, wasichana hawakuwa wanafika your level. So the reason why I say dream your bold dreams and then persistently pursue them, because people will try and tell you, oh, whatever you're trying to achieve is not achievable. And so nikaenda, finally anyway, I persisted, and I was sure I wanted to do engineering. So I ended up at Jomo Kenyatta University. This was part of our class. We had a class of 80 students, and we had 9 girls. We were 9 girls in total. This is a subgroup. So in mechanical, kuna kuna subgroups. So this was a small subgroup, and we had gone to Thika Power Plant for industrial visit. That's what people do a lot in university, visiting industries. And then 5 years later, my friends, we graduated, and that's when I got to the University of Oxford through the scholarship in nimewambia. And then finally nikakuja hapa. So I will just brush through I have some photos that I wanted to show you guys. Playing, so all my photos ni either doing research, I'm playing football in the team yangu ya Oxford. This is a trip to Israel. Nimetembea lakini nimeona kuna watu wametembea kweli. Akina Ambassador Rono na Shadra. Sijafikia level yenyu, but nimetembea kidogo. This is Jerusalem in Israel. Tulikuwa na a visit Edinburgh in UK. This is University of Oxford. Ni all buildings. My college ili establishiwa in 1298. Like 12th century, alafu tukuja 13, tukuja 14, hadi sai 20 something. So it's a very old city and very old university. This was me at the University of Oxford, nikikimbia 100 meter hurdles. So siyuko level ya kina Shadrach na Ambassador Rono, but I did university level athletics all through, from primary all the way up to now. This was 400 meter hurdles. Oh, sorry, this was relays actually, relays. This is Norway. I was attending a conference to present a paper that I'd written. It's Oslo, Norway. This is me in the lab. So the reason why I wanted to say, watu walikuwa wananiambia, oh, mechanical engineering is masculine. Inataka nguvu. I think watu wakifikiria mechanical engineering, walikuwa wanafikiria mechanic. Atutaingia uko chini ya gari, uinue gari, usongeshe hiyo machuma nini. A lot of engineering is the brain, especially the higher you go, the more it's brain, more than the hands. So you are the person sitting behind the computer, designing models, analyzing things, and then you go tell the people now on the ground, can you make this thing like this? So just in case someone wants to be a mechanical engineer or another engineer, it's more of the brain. So don't get scared of the energy that people are concerned about. And then nikapata some awards hapa na pale. This was my team. As you can see, University of Oxford ni watu weupe sana wengi. So kwa hii team yangu I was the only, unaona hata ni ngumu kunipata hapa, but I think you can see me. This was my team. Tulikuwa tunakimbia wote. And hii ni mimi lab. This is ukifly, when you get a chance to fly, hii kitu hapa nyuma, hiyo ndio engine, hii ndio the heart, hii ni moyo ya ndege. Ikizima kidogo, kama vile moyo ikizima kidogo, it's the end of your life. Hii kitu ikizima kidogo, that's the end of your flight, unfortunately. So there is a lot of research yenye inaenda through. Mimi nilikuwa naangalia a small component hapa yenye it has to continue running for you ufike mahali you are going. And this is the latest photo taken around 4 months ago. Nikitembea, this is my new city now in Boston. I was walking around. So there is also fun outside yoyote and all that. I also do enjoy walking and taking photos and all that. I will just say, I know amongst you, we have future politicians, women reps. So I'm sure some of you will follow Mrs. Rotich's footsteps to politics. We have future entrepreneurs, we have future engineers, we have future presidents even. And people will change Kenya, Africa, and the world. But only if you dare to dream. Vile Shadrach alisema, just try. Don't be satisfied staying in the village or staying where you are. Jaribu to something. Just dare to dream whatever you want to be or whatever you desire you want to be. Just dare to dream and then believe in that dream and then visualize it. Sometimes, if you want to be a politician, sometimes ita tu watu hapo, ongelesha hawa watoto huko kijijini, ongelesha vile politicians wanaongelesha watu. If you want to be a journalist, jaribu tu siku moja kwa Zoom and then imitate vile journalist wanafanya. If you want to be an entrepreneur or you have that entrepreneurship thing in you, anza kuuza vitu. Jaribu whatever your dream is, just try and then you believe in it and then you visualize it and then you persist. Because believe me, especially kwa wasichana, at least from my experience, utapata watu wengi sana watakwambia, ai hapana, hatujasikia mtu anafanya hivyo. Hatujaona mwanamke anakuwa president, and then unaanza kudoubt. So expect that people will doubt you, expect that people will want to suffocate your dream, expect that people will doubt your dream. But because ni where unajua, ni where you've believed, ni where you've visualized, so you continue persisting until you realize. So no condition is permanent. Dare to dream bold dreams, and then be yourself. Thank you so much.
Thank you, engineer. You know, you've just ended up while I'm still taking the notes. No condition is permanent. Dream bold dreams. Like we say, the engineer, dreams are free. Watu wengine don't even dream. You know, it's wrong not to dream. Dreams are free. You know, continue dreaming. Be yourself. I like that. Engineer, you know, I see you, nimeona picha yenye unaangalia engine ya ndege kwa sababu umetuambia ni kama roho. Sisi wengine we fly a lot. You know, can you just assure us, you know, like sasa zile unaenda unaangalia hiyo engine ya ndege, naona tu ndege ikishuka hivi kuna watu wanaitwa, I believe those are people like you, wanaitwaka wanakuja wanachungulia hivi and then kidogo wanasema it's okay. So, you know, are we flying is still safe?
Oh, absolutely. Ukiona I'm smiling like this, it's very safe.
Asante sana. So what were St. Catherine's? I don't know if you're still doubting yourself. I just want you to believe yourself, because really, look at this wonderful lady, 45%. Mimi nilikuwa ni kama wewe sasa engineer. Kiingereza yangu nilipofika America, imagine I had gone to St. Patrick's then. We used to have wazungu walikuwa nakuja, Peace Corps. They used to come to my school. Wanakuja wanaongea wazungu from the UK, from the US. Nilipofika shule hapa hivi, nimeingia tu darasani hivi. Mi Kiingereza yangu was just, you know, I think it was around yours, 50%. Nilipofika hapa wazungu waliongea, man, me I doubted myself for the first time. Nikashangaa, na ile wazungu walikuwa wanakuja, ilikuwa ni wazungu gani? People, I'm telling people water, you know, wananiuliza until I started doubting myself. But siku hizi Kiingereza ni imekuwa sawa. So thank you so much, engineer. We truly appreciate you. Thank you so much for sharing. I believe wasichana wa St. Catherine's mmekubali. Bado kuna wengine hapa watatu, you know, we still have some wonderful ladies here. We have a lady also from the village who is going to be telling us something before we go to engineer Janeth ambaye alituanzia, and then we need to go to Hosea. Hosea is very interesting, anatoka kwa village. Engineer, Hosea alikuwa mtu wa pikipiki. Yani, the question I keep asking him, alienda secondary yenye iko hapo ambaye wanafunzi wanajua. So the question I always ask Hosea is, umemaliza shule wewe, sasa wewe unaenda kibarua ya kupeleka hiyo boda. And then you meet your teacher ama your headmaster, alakwa, he wants you to give him a ride. Ukifika destination, unaambia akupatie pesa ama unamwachilia tu aende. So you look at Hosea hapo hivi, anaenda darasani alafu anarudi anaendesha boda. And the question I ask Hosea is, when you went to Australia, what did you do with your boda? Uliuza ama ulipofika Australia bado unaendesha boda? So it's very interesting. We will get to that point, but before that, thank you so much, Engineer Gladys. We truly appreciate you. You've shown us that it's done. Wewe uliingia huko ukakimbia, ukarepresent shule yako. I always, Gladys, when I interview people, you know, wenye wanakuja, if I find a student mwenye alipata A, alafu nipate mwenye alipata B, alafu nimuulize ulikuwa unafanya nini, huyu akiniambia B+ ama B, akiniambia he was a prefect ama alikuwa anafanya sports, I will go to this person who had a B, because I know they know how to manage time. So what engineer was talking about is time management. Huyo mtu anajua kumanage time. That is why engineer was able to run, was able to go to school, And every time you do more than one thing, you will always do very well because you manage your time well. Thank you so much, engineer. We truly appreciate you. We wish you the very best in the US. We wish you the very best as you make these flights to be more even comfortable in the future. And it's amazing to me to put a lady from the village Uko, and yana this idea wazungu. You sit in the boardroom, alafu waambie watu, this engine ni sawa, muende muweke ndege. So ladies, it can be done. So asante sana. Let me go up to Nairobi. Naona my other daughter, Nelly Rono. This is, she's a very interesting young lady. And Nelly, we will invite you. Huyu sasa ni mtu wa bodaboda pia. Anaendesha pikipiki, lakini anaendesha bodaboda which is more advanced than Hosea. Hosea alikuwa anaendesha ile bodaboda ya village. Nelly anaendesha pikipiki. Mange na ligugure ene nata abwati ale naba shoemaker nan. Those guys jo kurie pikipiki shek jo echen jo racing. So Nelly huwa anaendesha hiyo. So Nelly, karibu sana. I don't need to introduce you. Wewe sasa utatuambia ile shule ulienda, ukaenda primary wapi, ulienda village, kimalgot ko inendet our sister new. We did all those things. Meet the village. Olin karibu. Please don't crash if you are driving.
No, I won't crash. I know if I was in America, I would be sued or charged, but this is Kenya. So, Asante. So I hope you're able to hear me.
No, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you. So I'm really happy to be here today and honored. Occasionally, of course, you'll see me looking at the road, so don't mind about that. My name is Nelly Chepkurui Rono. I come from Bomet. And I call it the land of milk and honey. I know maybe it's not like Nandi, but it is the land of milk and honey. So for me, mine is, it's really difficult to speak after a keynote speaker whose achievements are big, But the little that I have and what I've been able to do in my own way can be able to encourage these young girls of St. Catherine today. And I'm happy that, as you can see, I'm driving. There is commitment in what we do. For me, I'm very passionate about encouraging young girls who've been not only, who've been through teenage crisis, people who, were being advised differently and others, and you are doing your own things. So maybe to begin with a proper introduction, I have just said, my name is Nelly Chepkurui Rono, and I'm a lecturer at the Kenya Medical Training College in Nairobi campus. I'm also a senior sonographer at the Aga Khan Executive Clinic in Nairobi. And I went to school, my first school, primary school, ile ya kwanza nursery. My mom happened to have been my nursery school teacher. I went to a school called Kapkures Primary. Shule tu ilikuwa karibu na nyumbani. And apart from that, I went to another school, which my dad was teaching. Then towards the end of class 2 rather, my dad gave us a challenge because we were two sisters and we were following each other. My sister was in class 3, I was in class 2. So my dad said, whoever would perform in her class the best, I was going to take you to school in Nairobi. And that is how I ended up going to my third school, which is State House Primary. I actually used to live inside State House with the president, that is President Moi. My uncle was a presidential escort. So occasionally, even with slippers, we would go and say hi to Moi, and he wouldn't stop us from going to say hi to him. Sa hiyo vumbi imefika kwa kichwa, lakini he would still say that we go and say hi to him. So apart from that, then my uncle was transferred to DOD Nakuru, and that is how I landed now at Tengecha boarding primary school in Kapkatet, where I did class 5 up to class 8. And I scored 534 marks out of 700. Those were the days when we were doing up to 700. Then From there, I didn't go to Kapropita. My dad felt that I was a Nairobi girl. So he actually asked one of my uncles to help him to get me to Pangani Girls. So I went to Pangani Girls from Form 1 to Form 4, June of 2004. I went to Form 1 in 2001. So I was supposed to have done my KCSE in November 2004, but I didn't do it. Why? Because mine was this girl who came in with very good marks, extremely brilliant and all that, but the teenage crisis, I look at it today and I'm even shocked about the things that probably I used to do, the way I used to feel like I'm entitled, you know, I know some of you are going through that, yeah? Because it is just an elevated type of teenage crisis that most of us actually, or even most of our parents, our teachers do not understand. But those things are real. And it doesn't mean that we are bad people. It is just that we need to be tamed a little bit and nicely, not being beaten. Because being beaten for us means rebelling. Yeah, and that is how I ended up walking out of Pangani. Imagine you've registered for exams. Some people would wish they had the opportunity that I had, but here I was blowing it up, you know? I walked away in June of 2004. Reason why I walked out was because in Pangani, from index 1 up to around index 100 and maybe 101 would be B plus and above. I was index 26. We never used to be graded. We were put with our indexes. I was index 26, and there I was alone during our mock exams. I have a C. So you can imagine how conspicuous I was. I have a C. And the C was, of course, as a result of the many indiscipline cases I had, the many boyfriends I used to write letters to. And I used to have a boyfriend in Lenana School. I had another one in Patch. That is Nairobi School. Then I had another one in Starehe. But of course, at that time, our boyfriends were not those boyfriends that you would think you go and do crazy things. No, it was just wasting your time fantasizing and writing letters and wasting a lot of time, you know? So of course, you're carried away and you fail to concentrate on your studies. And that is how I ended up having a C, and I'm an index 26, and everybody can see, who is this? So of course, at the age of 17 years, you're just a very naive, not naive, let me not say naive, but you're not emotionally intelligent at that time. So for me, the only thing to hide the shame and everything else was to walk away. And once you walk away in Pangani, you've actually expelled yourself. So I walked away, and my dad made all efforts to try and see if I could go back to school, go back to Form 3. I was even offered to go back to Form 3, and I completely refused. So when I refused, my dad told me I'm going to be one of his workers. So I became one of his workers until my brother, who was in Nakuru High School, decided that he is very entrepreneurial and he is up to date because he owns a petrol station now and is younger than me. He bought a camera that he used to take photos in school. So one day, he was caught with this camera, which landed him a suspension home. So the day my dad was taking him back to school now for an indiscipline case, I think having sat at the principal's office from 8 a.m. in the morning and there is no case yet, and you're hungry, of course, with hunger, for those of us who've done medicine, you lose temper, you become very irritable and all that. So my dad decides to slap my brother. Akamslap hapo kwa corridor akimwambia, that means unanisumbua na mwingine ananisumbua nyumbani. You know, you can imagine that kind of. So the principal apparently, I think that the commotion was too hard and harsh that the principal came out to ask what is wrong. Then now my dad, of course, started ranting and all that. And the only thing that the former principal, he was called Paul Kendagor, the principal of Nakuru High School, he told my father, now go back home and come back with that other girl that you're talking about who is at home. So that is how I ended up in Nakuru High School Form 3 again. So I did my high school for 6 years. Now, the teenage crisis was not yet over. It had not been addressed. Nobody, you know, everybody thought it is just rebellion. It is, I was never taken for counseling. My dad never spoke to me, I think, for about the 6 months I was his worker. I actually literally used to be assigned duties with the workers every day from Monday to Friday. I would only rest on Sunday because I was his worker. That is what he said. So I went back to high school and I used to feel like nobody understands me, nobody really cares and all that. Then I met this man one day in a matatu when I'm going to school and we became friends and he was very caring. And I was like, hey, this is someone I want to stay with. Guess what? I got pregnant. I'm in Form 4, I get pregnant. So what do? The only person I knew who would probably try and understand was my mother. My mom, she's those kind of people who are very submissive and she would just keep quiet. She would only ask you, what do you want? So I was very lucky that my former principal, by the time we were getting to Form 4, Nakuru High had been split to Nakuru Girls and Nakuru Boys. So I was in Nakuru Girls and my principal this time was called Madam Nancy Ngeno. She used to be the principal Kipsigis Girls for a long time. So Madam Ngeno said that I was a replica of her life, that she got a baby when she was in Form 1, got another one in Form 2, got another one in Form 3, Form 4. She had a baby every single year. Anaenda nyumbani 1 year, anaenda anachunga mtoto anarudi. It was, I think she did her high school for 8 years or something. So she said she was never going to chase any girl who was in school. So that is how I ended up carrying a pregnancy in high school. And I'm going to sit for my Form 4. She even asked me, like, because I used to have a very severe condition, it's called hyperemesis, that is severe vomiting when you're pregnant and all that. I couldn't handle any food. So I was given even the teacher's food, so that she just wanted me to make sure that I complete school so that I'm able to take care of myself. She actually became my role model. She kept me in school. She told everybody that she didn't want to hear anybody talking ill about me. If you had talking ill about me, it was going to be a case in the staff room. So that is how I managed to survive in high school pregnant. And then, of course, I didn't perform very well I was an A student. I wanted to do medicine. I wanted to be a doctor. And then I ended up getting a B-. So with my B-, of course, now with my father to go and face at home with a pregnancy, there is no way I could go back home. So I eloped. I got married when I was 19 years. And of course, as you would imagine, you make all the wrong decisions. At that time, 19 years. No, I would never encourage anybody to get married at that time. It is all wrong. You're not mature enough mentally. You can't even be a mother, So anyway, I got married. The marriage lasted for 6 years. By the time I decided I was going to walk away because everything had just gone, it was going down. I decided to walk away and go back to my father and ask my father that now this little part that I'm left with school, you need to assist me to get back to school. And so my dad, the prodigal son, of course, there is no parent atatupa mtoto wake. So my dad akanichukua back and I took my son. At that time, my son was 6 years. And then my daughter was 1.5 years. And I was pregnant, a third child. I'm in college, I'm at Kesses in third year, doing radiography and imaging. I had first done a first course, which was not very fruitful. So I decided to go back again and do now, because now with a marriage that was failing, you have nothing for yourself, 3 children, you do not know how your future would be. So I decided, let me go back to school and back to my father. And anyway, thanks to my dad, I also applied for help and I got help under Funzo Kenya. They were offering scholarships for medical students who are in KMTC for diploma students. So I managed to complete and immediately I completed, I did radiography. So that was a very marketable course back then and even now. I secured a job. So I collected my kids because my son, he used to go to a very good school those days in Nairobi. He could hardly speak even in Kiswahili. So my sister took him to a school in Eldoret called Potter's House for I think 2 terms. Then I completed school, took all my kids from wherever, my son from my mom, my daughter from my sister. And then of course, the baby is the one I used to have. I used to live with my baby in the hostel, you can imagine. My head of department was very kind. He went to talk to the director himself and told the director that if you do not let this girl stay in her room with this baby, she will never complete school. So let her stay with the baby and a house girl. So I used to stay in that hostel room at KMTC. I think I made history. I'm still the only one who has been with a house girl and a baby in the hostels. So anyway, after that, then of course, now after walking away and everything, then of course, one day you wake up and you ask yourself very hard questions like, what do I really want in my life? What do I want to achieve? Where do I want to get? So hizi vitu zote nilikuwa nafanya, you know, they were all stupid, yeah? But then they were stupid in the eyes of everybody else. But you who is going through that crisis, you feel, unona, you are justified. Why are people not understanding me? So anyway, one day I just woke up and I told myself that I'm going to write a different history, a different name altogether. I'm going to be the girl that I wanted to be all along. And that is how I ended up going back to, immediately I finished my diploma. I even had an overpayment of school fees because Funzo Kenya had paid and my dad also paid. So I went for a higher diploma in ultrasound. That is in I started my college in 2008, the first course, which was not very fruitful, graduated in 2011. Then I went back to school now, realizing that things are not working well in my life with my marriage and the kids. Then I went back to school for 2 years in 2012, graduated in 2014 with a diploma in medical imaging, that is radiography. Then the same year, I enrolled for ultrasound, had a diploma in ultrasound, still at KMTC. That one I used to pay for myself. I used to travel from Tenwek twice a week to come to class and go back. There is no weekend I ever had a break because I had to work over the weekend for me to get a break on Monday, Tuesday to attend classes in Nairobi. But at least my Tenwek was good for me because home was not far. My mom would bring me food. I had 2 house helps, one to take care of the baby, to look at the baby, the other one, Afu and Go, you know, so that when I'm away, they actually act like they have 2 mothers. One would be better if another one is bad. That was my thinking. So anyway, I graduated in 2015 with the ultrasound higher diploma. Then 2016, that's 2015, just before I graduated, I got a job with KEMRI to do the National TB and Prevalence Survey, which was first of its kind post-independence. So I decided to, I did the survey for 1.5 years. For me, it was very therapeutic. I traveled everywhere in Kenya. There is nowhere I did not go. And it brought a lot of healing. It brought a lot of reflection. I even had started writing a book, which is not complete. I used to write those days because I had a lot of time in my hands. And after that, when the survey was complete, because it was a contract, I enrolled at JKUAT for my degree in radiography, and I chose to take radiotherapy. And by 2017, they had actually advertised for a job in 2016 at KMTC for lecturers. And thank God that at that time, they used to take lecturers with higher diploma. So my same HOD who had, you know, prepared me to stay with the baby in the hostel knew that there was a lot of resilience. I was very determined, and I was the first one to be taken on the list. Even if because the government interviews usually even max, I was number 6 and they wanted 5 people. But then after, when they have done that, they come back to maybe regional distribution, that is tribal, that is under which region is which tribe, so that there is no tribalism. But then my head of department at that time, he was called Mr. Nyala. He said that this is a girl who deserves to be given this job, regardless, even if she was number 10. But I was number 6, and I was number 6 because number 1 to 4 had masters, and me, I had a higher diploma. And you know, having a bachelor's, number 1, you get 10 marks. When you have bachelor in masters, you get 15 marks. So they were already 25 marks ahead of me without even question. So me being number 6, I had really tried a lot. So I was given the job to be a lecturer at KMTC in 2017, as I continued with my degree at JKUAT, which I graduated in 2020. And of course, in JKUAT, of course, I should have finished in 2 years, but I ended up finishing in 4 years because I got supplementaries. I had a family to take care of. I had my own life. I have a lot of things to do. So sometimes some subjects ilikuwa inanilemea, unaanguka unarudia. But I was determined to finish, not because I wasn't capable, but because my all attention was not there. So I completed that, and last year, 2021, in September, I enrolled at University of Nairobi to do health economics and policy. So that is where I am today. My kids go to one of the best schools in Nairobi. It's called Nova Pioneer. My daughters are nowhere close to what I was when I was in class 3. Those days, I could not express myself the way they do right now. The things they write, the things they tell you, they are very innovative and all that. So why was I telling you my story? My story was, one, it is about determination. It is about resilience. We all fail, but you must remember to wake up. You must keep your focus to the end. Ile yenye ulikuwa unataka for your life, you must make sure you get there. Number 2, it is okay to fail. It is okay to be, you do not meet the expectations of people, maybe with the circumstances that you have at that particular moment. But then that shouldn't keep you down there for too long. Because I want to tell you that today I'm 34. I should have completed my high school at 17 years in Pangani. That is double the time. This is, you can imagine, it is a long route. So hakuna aja. And they say experience teaches fools. Why should you be taught by your own experience? That it means you're a fool. Yeah. So my advice for me would be learn from the experiences of other people. All those things that you think at ulifika, hakuna kufika. Utafika tu when you're able to take care of yourself and when you're able to come to a realization and know exactly what you want for your life. But before then, yoyote ni vumbi. So don't waste your time there. Don't actually waste your time there. Another thing is, it is expensive. It has been very expensive for me. Remember my dad, tuliwachana na ile siku niliolewa. That was in 2007. We are in 2022. It is 15 years. So sometimes I have to pay school fees for my kids alone. I have to pay for my own school fees. It is stressful. I actually work 4 jobs. If some of you thought that in Kenya people cannot work 4 jobs, I'm one of them. I don't sleep actually. Like right now, you can see I'm driving. I'm in a celebration today for Mrs. Rotich. I mean, it is how chaotic sometimes it can get because of making poor choices when you're younger, when you're supposed to have done those things earlier. So do not get to where I got to. Make sure that at the time when you need to be doing what is right, when you need to be in school studying, can you study? When you need, there's time for everything. Hizi vitu haziende mahali popote, yeah? They are all here to stay. Hakuna mahali inaenda, and kila mtu ako na nafasi yake, and they will even be better. Look at Janeth, the software engineer. She works in Silicon Valley. For me, that is just a dream. I'm actually going to America this June, and I'm so excited. You'd think that it is the biggest thing that's ever happened, yeah? Because I've never been there, but they have been there. They work in the best institutions. Look at Balozi Rono. He's been living there for many years. Look at Janeth, the aircraft engineer. I look at them and I'm just like, oh, poor Nelly,
Hello. I think Nelly froze because she's on the road. Pole sana, okirudi tutaendelea. So asante Nelly.
Yeah.
Okay.
So thank you so much, Balozi. I am so proud of being part of this team. And the students in St. Catherine's, I want to wish you all the best. The Form 4s who are sitting the exams, just remember that even if you don't do well, there is still another chance to redeem yourself. Thank you.
Thank you, Sister Nelly. Thank you, my daughter. And I appreciate you for telling us your story. For the students, it is good to be told so that you don't take that long road that she went a long way, and she's telling you, instead of going the long way, just nenda direct. Kuliko uende huko alafu you come and do the same things you would have done. But we truly celebrate you, Nelly. You've come and you've shared your story, and you are a success actually. And now you are telling from experience. There is nothing better than experience. So wanafunzi, there is always a chance for all these things. So asante Sister Nelly, tunakushukuru, tunakutakia mema, ukiendelea, ukikuja America, utafika huko. If you go to Florida, utapata Engineer Janeth. Ukikuja Ohio, tuko huko. I hear you're going to huko Houston. Yes. There are very interesting things in Houston. So asante sana. Yeah. So thank you so much. I think from here, tutafanya hivi, tutaenda, I will invite Hosea, and then before I call Janeth, engineer, I will call, I think her mom, ndio atuongeleshe kidogo, alafu we'll give you the students a chance. If you have a question utauliza, nitaenda AOB kidogo kabla tujamaliza, alafu tutamalizia, and then engineer Janeth atatumalizia, alafu turudi huko kwenu, tupate mwalimu atupatie photo of thanks after we give you a chance to ask a question towards the end. So asanteni sana. I want to go to Australia, ambaye tuone huyu jamaa wa bodaboda huyu. Nasikia alienda village, anatoka hapo Moi University, akaenda pale, you know, he was an average student, but sahi as we speak, amemaliza undergraduate, amemaliza masters, he's a PhD student. The question I always like to ask you, Hosea, bado unaendesha bodaboda ama uli upgrade? So utatuelezea. Kwa sababu wewe ulikuwa unafanya hiyo bodaboda ukiwa huko, you are doing hustling. This was before the hustling whatever has arrived, but you are hustling huko. And then, karibu Hosea, you're welcome.
Thank you, Balosi, my fellow panelists, teachers who are present, students. Bwana Yesu asifiwe. I'm happy to be part and parcel of this very, very incredible team. And I believe in there is one person who taught me one day, happy are those who speak for a few minutes because they will be given opportunity the next time. And I think I will be speaking for less than 2 minutes because I don't have a long story. My name is Hosea Kibrono, born and brought up in a village called Tuluamwetun, went to Tuluamwetun Primary School, and went to Tuluamwetun Secondary School. I know most of St. Catherine students at Tuluamwetun High School, sio shule ni iboliki yenu. I think mkisikia Tuluamwetun, most of you wamesikia St. Michael Tuluamwetun, hapo ni penye nilisoma. And then later on, nikamaliza, nikafanya boda, and I want to acknowledge some of, kuna watu nilipata chance kuwapeleka, some of them as ni walimu wenyu. I think mnajua Madam Jeserek, wangapi wanajua Madam Jeserek? She was one of my client, Mr. Oduor, nilipata nafasi kumchukua wakati nilikuwa driver wa boda, Madam Maifi, na wengi na Mr. Mutai. Hawa ni watu nilipata chance kuwapeleka wakati nilikuwa driver upande wa Moi University. Na mnajua vile maisha ya Tuluamwetun. So nilipomaliza Tuluamwetun, kuona mbele ilikuwa ni, but nilijiambia one thing in my life. I don't want to, nimesaliwa Tuluamwetun, nimesoma Tuluamwetun, na ni kuishia Tuluamwetun. So my message today, wanafunzi, kindly have a mentor. In your life, if you want to succeed, ukitaka kufanya anything, if you want to be like me, if you want, hata ukiwa bodaboda, we used to have our mentors. Na anakuambia ukipepa hivi mtu akipiga kona hivi lazima akushike vizuri. Nikajiambia in my life, I don't want hii life ya kuendesha pikipiki is not easy. Sometimes ukianguka wewe ni boot, mtu anakulani, it's not good. Nikajiambia I must, lazima ni work hard. So student, wherever you are, ukiwa after this high school, please have a mentor. I'm in Australia, place known as Adelaide. I got an opportunity to go one of the best universities in the world, known as Flinders. Flinders, okay, Google is one of the best universities, and it was from the village. So my message is, please kindly have a mentor. Sometimes after high school, sometimes most of the things happen. Juicy corona ilitokea, 80% of the students, majority of them, they got early pregnancy. Lakini ukipata excuse tu anasema watu wa pota. Saa zingine hata haikuanga. Saa zingine tulikuwa tunachukua student, kazi yetu ni kutransport mtu from point A to point B. Wanaenda kukutana na mtu, but ukisikia wanasema tu ni watu wa bodaboda. So wanafunzi, mkimaliza shule, wajamaa wa bodaboda wanaongoja hapo tu immediately. Na some of them wako na intention, na wako na missions, na wamejipanga, wengine wao wako tayari kabisa kuwashughulikia. So ukiwa huko, please kindly have a mentor, someone who will guide you if you have any issue. watawasaidia. Lastly, I want to remind you, nothing is in this world if you decide, ukiamua tu like what most of the speakers hapa wamesema, kuwa ukitaka chochote it is possible so long as you are determined and you work hard. So last H minus 3K is equals to S. Hard work minus kulala lala. If unapenda penda kulala lala minus kuranda randa na kukula kula is equals to S. That is success. Madam Rotich, I wish you all the very best. You have been a role model in our village. You have been a mom. We have been looking up to you as you go back to Melbourne to go and serve in a different capacity. We wish you all the very best. At the moment, mi ni mkaaji wa Kesses. I am a resident of Kesses hapo. Wakati nikikuja area, nimetoka Tuluam wetu, Mungu amenibariki. I am one of watu wanaishi hapo Kesses na pia nimemove pia. I will be soon. I will be your neighbor kwa shule na walimu and everything, and I will be looking up to you. I will come and speak more wakati wa celebrations ya your exam. Thank you and God bless you so much.
Thank you, Hosea. Thank you. Wanafunzi, it is also okay to say no. Huyo jamaa wa bodaboda akikupeleka, it is okay to say no. You don't have to say yes to everything. So, hii vitu ni choice also. I will tell you it is okay to say no kwa vitu zingine. So, I think I will, what we will do before we go to, nafikiria I would rather invite Engineer Janeth, alafu tutapatia mama wa Janeth, alafu Janeth, let me invite you. You know, Janeth, like we said, alienda primary huko, the village, alitoka village, akakomalgot ku wanafunzi kuina Engineer Gladys, akafanya ile vitu yote ile mulifanya, akachunga ng'ombe. The only good thing about Engineer Janeth is alipokuwa akichunga ng'ombe anasoma kitabu. Mimi nilipokuwa nikichunga ng'ombe sisomi kitabu. So that is the difference. Yeye alikuwa anapenda kusoma, anasoma kitabu. Mongen ngokicham kobendi to compare, because sometimes you concentrate on the book, ng'ombe inaenda huko, you create another trouble huko, utaenda kuchapwa ng'ombe ilikula mahindi ya wenyewe. Na nafikiria alikuwa anachunga kwa Moi University, so the area is big. Huko kwetu ukikaa kidogo hivi ng'ombe imekula mahindi ya wenyewe. So mimi sikusoma nikichunga ng'ombe, not like Janeth, and that is why Janeth akaenda a good boarding school, akaenda huko akascore A. Mimi nilikuwa average pale, but thank God, you know, I ended up in a very good school also. But I will tell you what I did while there. You know, just like Engineer Gladys, you know, I also decided that, you know, this average thing I have to change. But Engineer Janeth, let me invite you before I invite Ma'am.
Thank you, Balozi, and thank you so much for all the speakers. I hope wanafunzi wamepata nafasi kusikia from all aspects. Unaweza tumia akili yako, unaweza tumia your talent, you can use your miguu yako inaweza kupeleka, unaweza cheza mpira like Engineer Gladys, she was a footballer, she was a volleyballer, she played so many games, she still runs also, and all those things zimempeleka mbali. So I hope kila mtu amechukua ama you found a place for yourself. I hope next time tutakuwa na artists kama musicians or maybe all kinds of artists or any other person. Tumekuwa na daktari leo, several engineers. I hope kila mtu amesikia. Before I invite Mom, ningependa make a few remarks na pia kama angependa kuinvite mwalimu yeyote hapo nitawapatia. Alafu but before I do that, I think Engineer Gladys forgot to mention that she's also an author. Now, if you want to read a lot of her story, she has a book and she has another one coming. And I would like to just call Engineer Gladys to ambia just a little bit about your book and share what it's about. Yeah, Karibu Gladys.
Oh, thanks, Janeth. I forgot to mention. So allow me to market myself. So this is the book that is coming. So ndio maana nilikuwa naambia Bold dreams. Yule msichana wa 45% in English. Imagine sasa anaandika kitabu yenye sasa watu wanasoma. So if you ever want to write a book, it's also possible. So this is, I'm narrating my story through a PhD. Nimetoka Kenya na nikaenda a very huge, big elite institution. And I'm just narrating my story of how I managed to do a PhD. At 28, I had a PhD in engineering, in aerospace engineering. And I'm just giving strategies on how to survive the process. So this is coming out in May. But I think the most relatable one for the students at the moment is this one. So I don't know if did I share the same thing? You can say this, Janeth?
Yes.
The bold dreams? So this, the bold dream, so we collaborated with a friend of mine, Dr. Elisha Rotich. Yeye alisoma Kericho High na alitoka pia a small beginning na akaenda hadi amefanya, he's a medical doctor, so amesoma 6 years in University of Nairobi na akaenda kufanya PhD at the University of Oxford. That's where we met. So we are actually not related. Watu wanafikirianga we are related, but we just share the similar stories from uko Kericho na mahali tulifika wote University of Oxford, and then we ended up doing PhDs at the same time. So yeah, he's a medical doctor na mimi ni daktari wa PhD. So we collaborated and we wrote a book inaitwa The Bold Dream. So most of our stories tumeongea about how we studied in high school, and some of the things nilikuwa nimesema before, plus others on how mtu mwenye uko form 1, mtu mwenye uko form 2, on how you can improve. So I think the most important thing from this book is kwa mtu mwenye uko form 3, there is a timetable hapo hivyo on page 27 where I talked about how I revised. So if for St. Catherine, because you guys have been amazing and inviting us, the book is currently going for 1,000 per copy. But St. Catherine, whatever copies that you guys will get, you will get it at 500 shillings. So at the mutamwambia, I think Mrs. Rotich you will tell Janeth, and then Janeth, you tell me how many copies that St. Catherine wants, and then we can organize on how to ship them to St. Catherine. And mtu mwenye form 4, unfortunately, sidhani kama itakusaidia sana. Maybe the stories too will encourage you, but kwa mtu mwenye form 3 and below, kuna some tips and tricks on how you can improve your grades and a timetable which you can use. So thank you so much, Janeth, for giving me the chance to share.
Asante sana, Daktari Gladys, and thank you for sharing your story with all of us so we can feel inspired. I would definitely like to get a few copies for the library, so of St. Catherine, courtesy of Madam Esther. And yeah, so kila mtu apate chance ya kuisoma and just feel inspired like I always am when you speak. So I would like to invite Madam Esther. Please make a few remarks. Feel free to give a student or a teacher to say 1 or 2 things, and then we will proceed. Balozi, you have something?
Engineer Janeth, before you invite Ma'am, let me say something so that when Ma'am invite wanafunzi wanaweza uliza maswali. So asanteni, thank you so much students for sitting down. You know, unajua tumekaa sana, tumeangalia hii maneno, hopefully umechukua kitu. So I will only give you 3 things ambayo ukisahau yote hii, at least you remember, you know, wonderful things. I wrote what our sister or my daughter wrote, you know, alituambia. So for me, it's very interesting. I told you I'm an Olympic champion. I became the youngest Olympic champion at the age of 21. I came to America when I was 18 years old. And Engineer Gladys, glad, you know, unaandika kitabu ya pili. Mimi nimeandika moja. It's not easy to write a book, but, you know, I wrote one of my story. Mine is called From Strength to Strength. Kitabu mzuri, ukipata hiyo, unaweza kuisoma pia. So, like I told you, I'm the only kid in my family. Mimi nilisaliwa peke yangu, which is very unusual for a Kalenjin setting. My mom is a very short lady. And I believe that is why, you know, I'm the only one. I'm told nilikaa hospital for a very long time because of complications. So, you know, I was born, I'm the only kid. It's very interesting. being the only kid. So I tell of a story when paka ilikuja ikakunywa maziwa. Ilipokunywa maziwa, my mom came picking me up. Ananiuliza, wewe umekunywa maziwa? I'm like, no, it's not me. Lakini amenichapa. Mwishowe akaniuliza, it has to be you. Nikaambia, no, it wasn't me. Akaniambia, who is it? Nikaambia, it's the cat. Lakini nilikuwa nimechapwa. So that is the interesting part of being the only one. So anything happens, it is you. So even if it is a cat, if somebody steals something, it has to be you. So anyhow, you know, I grew up in that village called Kamobo. Life was very difficult. I didn't want to go to school. So mtu kama Janeth, you're blessed. Mama alikuwa mwalimu, alikuwa anajua maneno ya masomo. But for me, my mom alikuwa anaburu changa. So huyu jamaa unamuona hapa hivi, I know how to make changa. I'm very good. So mimi nilijifunza kutengeneza changa, busa, lakini the good thing is I don't drink. Sikunywa hata ile wine. I remember in Europe I was given the most expensive wine, ambaye niliambiwa it was about 20,000 Kenya shillings. I gave it out because I don't drink. So huyu jamaa unamuona hapa hivi sijaonja, lakini I know how to make changa. Mimi nilitengeneza hiyo. Thank God ilikuwa tukitengeneza changa na mama yangu nyumbani. There was a chief in my area ambaye anaitwa Chief Peter Ruto. So huyu jamaa akakuja kufika kwetu akanifunga na mama yangu. Kunifunga akaniambia utaenda jela. Mimi I was very young at that time. Nikaambia, man, you know, I don't want to. Alinichapa kiboko moja, nikakimbia mpaka shule. It was 4. Kufika huko nikapata my neighbor. Her name is Chepkalum. Nikampata Chepkalum akiwa watewa NPE. Nikauliza standard 1 ni wapi, akanionyesha. I went to class. Kufika pale there was nobody. Kumbe watu walikuwa break. Nikakaa, the people came. Thank God nilikalia kiti ambaye it wasn't for anybody. Anyway, nikakaa pale nikasoma. From there nikaambia mama yangu I will never stay again. Nikaenda shule. So anyhow, nikasoma primary, nikamaliza. Eventually I ended up going to St. Patrick's. Kufika pale I met wonderful students who are very, very smart. What did I do? Because me, I was an average student. What I did is, and what I will tell you is, me, I befriended the smart students. In fact, one of my friends, a very good friend, is a doctor, medical doctor. He was the #1 student in my class. He became my friend. Akaniuliza, unaweza kunifundisha kukimbia? Nikaambia, yeah, as long as wewe utanisaidia maneno ya masomo. So this guy became my friend. So yeah, it was very easy. Alikuwa ananiambia, you know, if you want to pass, you do this, you do this. Akanifunza, mimi nikamfundisha akimbia. Up to today, he thinks I'm the one who coached him. He's running not great as I was, but you know, he believes I'm the one who helped him. Lakini yeye alinifundisha. In short, what I'm trying to tell you is, ukitaka ujue where you will go, look at your friends. I'm not saying uambie rafiki zako kwa heri, I don't want to be next to you. Ukiwa na rafiki wawili ambaye ni wezi, wewe utakuwa muizi number 3. So mimi in Kalenjin wanasema ngumijina ngom iropke ngomitu, ngutko mijina magario iropke jijota iego magario. So I don't know how you say that in English, but anyhow. So jaribu kutafuta watu ambao watakusaidia. Hosea alisema tafuta mentors. I will ask you the same. Mimi niliwaambia I wanted to go to America. When I got to St. Patrick's, I realized I was struggling kwa maneno ya masomo. Nikaambia watu, I have to be very, very good in running. So I became very, very good in running. I represented Kenya when I was in Form 2. Nika travel. You know, I started going out when I was in Form 2. I saved my money for being to travel to America. Nikaambia watu, mimi, because I don't have money, I have to use talent. So I used that. I represented Kenya when I was in Form 1, Form 2, Form 3, mpaka nikapata scholarship. I never paid a single cent. Nimeambia Mungu, siwezi nikalipa. Because I'm very good, I have to use what you've given me. I've been fortunate enough, I've assisted so many students. I have over 5,000 students that I've helped in maneno ya scholarships. So talent inaweza kukusaidia. So tumia hiyo itakusaidia. If you are talented in anything, like what Gladys did, you can actually succeed like that. Inakusaidia. So nitawaambia, if you are in form 1, form 2, hata wewe ukikimbia hapo hivi tutakutafutia scholarship. So long as you get good grades, unaweza pata C+ na kwenda juu, tutakusaidia, and you will come and you will not pay nothing. So what I will tell you, kuna maneno mingi tumeambiwa. Kuna vitu 3 tu ambayo itakusaidia. Number 1 is what, you have to have interest in something. You have to have interest in something. Once you have the interest in that thing, you will always succeed. Number 2, you have to have the right attitude. Ukiamuka asubuhi when you want to run, when Gladys was running, wengine walikuwa naambia utakimbia utafika wapi? Mimi nilikuwa naambia ukiendelea kukimbia hautapita kwa shule. So I got an average score, but I ended up coming to America. So you have to have the right attitude. Number 3, you have to be disciplined. Hizo vitu 3 itakupatia success. I will give you a very simple maths. Some of you, maybe we had maths or something like that, lakini ndawapatia tu hesabu moja ambaye it's very interesting. Ndawauliza tu 8 plus 8 inakuwa ngapi? 8 plus 8, I'm told, is 18. And then you take 8 times 8. So what you do is, you don't do anything. You just switch that plus, you tilt a little bit. In ukitilt namna hii, 8 plus 8 times 8 inakuwa 81. See, nothing changes. In a shift,
9.
Yeah?
9 plus 9.
Oh, no, sorry, not 8 plus 8. 9 plus 9 is equals 18. And then when you say 9 times 9, it's 81. So in a tilt, inachukua ile 1, imbaye ilikuwa huku, it changes. The difference is actually 63. So in percentage, when you say 9 plus 9 equals 18, when you say 9 times 9 is equals 81, nothing changes. Hakuna namba ingine imekuja, lakini hiyo moja inasukumwa iende huko. The difference is 63. So sometimes unaweza kuchange vitu zingine kwa maisha. You can change, munakaa na nani, you go to that smart student anakusaidia, you go to the teacher, you change the way you do your ways, and it changes everything. So I will always tell you to multiply and, be disciplined na ufanye hiyo vitu yote. I want to wish you the very best, Form 4s. I want to wish you the very best, Mrs. Rotich, as you venture into politics. I know it's a very dirty game, but we wish you the very best. So over the years, while I traveled, nimekutana na some of the greatest people, like hizo vitu yote niliwaambia: interest, attitude, discipline. Hizo vitu 3 hiyo inakupatia success. I've met finest people in history. As you see the picture over there, I was invited to go to Vatican. I met the Pope. I had 3 dinners with the Pope. I had 2 lunches with him, and some breakfast. I got invited to go there. I got an award from Nelson Mandela. The gentleman that you see over there is one of the best soccer players in the world. His name is Zico. So I got to meet him. We were in Vatican together. So easy vitu yote easy. Ukifanya hiyo, these very simple things, you will actually be able to get to places. I want to wish you the very best. We love you guys. We want to come and celebrate St. Catherine's. I want you guys to look for a mentor if you're interested, like unaweza kuandikia Mili, if you want Mili to be your mentor. If you want engineer, I'm sure she's willing to be your mentor. All these people, they will do great for you. So dream again, like I said, dreams are free. If you are not dreaming, you have a problem. You have to dream. Lakini utaambiwa na watu wengine, pengine wewe umedream too much. It's okay, and it's free to dream anyway. So dream for something, aim high, and you will end up somewhere. Sometimes, like they say, sazile rocket inaenda juu. It's very interesting if you've seen wakishoot your rocket inaenda kwa mwezi ama, Mars. The old rocket is huge, na wanatumia bomu ikienda. Alafu saa zingine inaenda, when it gets to the middle, some of the things break up. So it is not meant that hiyo watu wote wenye muko nao mtafika penye mnaenda. You know, it's meant that some of them will remain, you will continue, but you have to aim high to get to somewhere. We want to wish you the very best. We love you guys so much. Engineer Janeth, I would like you so that you invite your mom. Alafu your mom will invite a teacher there, and then we will give time so that you can ask a question if you have. Every question is very valid and very important for the students. We love you so much. We want to come and celebrate you. When we come to Kenya, visit uko St. Catherine, tutakuja mpaka that village. We love you so much. Engineer Janeth, karibu.
Asante sana Balozi, and thank you for sharing your story and telling them that dreams are free. I think students, we've taken a lot from each one of the speakers that we've had today. Now I'll just take this privilege to welcome our lovely teacher and who's also my mom, Madam Ester Rotich, to give a few remarks, and then I'll pay a chance to students. They could ask 1 or 2 questions. Naona time imeenda, tutajaribu kuharakisha. Asante. Karibu Mrs. Rotich.
Manuela.
Hatukusikii Mrs. Rotich.
Manuela, kindly adjust the microphone. Yeah. Manuela, kindly adjust the microphone and remain unmuted. Yeah. Okay. Quiet. Yeah.
Okay. Karibu. Sijui ni kwa nini hatukusikii.
Yeah, Manuela.
Yeah.
Thank you very much this afternoon, this evening. We want to thank you for the great time that you have taken. We are very happy. Our students are happy, and we have our teacher here who might want to say something before I continue. Welcome, Madam Samuel.
Our speakers online, students, Madam Ester Rotich, want to take this opportunity as a school of St. Catherine of Siena. Thank you so much for enabling us to have this opportunity. It is a rare opportunity that I think nobody has ever done it before. So my name is Monica Samuel, a teacher of biology and chemistry. Many times we spend time with these students, encouraging them, and it's a rare opportunity to get people from the village who have excelled, like you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Hosea, Ambassador Rono, Janeth, Gladys, Millie. So Janeth, you've been a model. So I think these girls just follow your footsteps. And before I forget, Madam Ester Rotich is alumni. I studied at Kapsabet Girls myself. Though I'm very young, I graduated 2007. But I've always told you guys that it is really much very possible from a simple village to a very big school, then getting a good grade. So thank you so much. We have nothing to add. For the girls, what do you tell the speakers online? Thank you. So the speakers online, our girls are such appreciative group. So at Form 4, we have a very hardworking class, and we have hopes that all the girls, there are 115, and we have good hopes that all of them shall actually get C+ and above. So we also thank you for the encouragement. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. And okay, right now we are saying almost we are closing the session, and we have been so grateful. Our students are very happy, and they have learned something. For me, I take this opportunity to thank all the panel. It is not just something to be taken for granted. I must say God really has worked, because I was not expecting this meeting to go. Although we had some challenges at the beginning, but as we have continued, we have seen great things. And I hope whatever you have told our daughters, I call them my daughters, because I've been here for us. I came here at this school in 2019, November. And then we went out for 1 year, and then we came back 2021. And then this year, I decided now I should go for politics. And that one is another avenue in life, because me, I have seen changes. However, through when I was in primary school, I worked very hard. And then I say, one day, I'm going to teach in high school. And of which I actually ended there. Then when I was somewhere there in the university, I said, now I'll make sure I go and teach in higher level apart from secondary school, of which I went to Musoria Teachers. So God actually has been seeing me through. I've been going through so many things, but I've seen God working. Anything that I've been doing, there's nothing which has come not to be accomplished. I've realized that you must have determination, as somebody has said. So in life, there must be determination. You must be focused. You must have a very serious dream, as our speakers has told us, that you must have bold dreams, and the dreams actually are free, and everybody should be having this, unless you are not normal. Somebody, our ambassador told us like that. So thank you very much, our ambassador. And actually the work that I'm going to do now is actually to work for the community. I've been working in the high school, in the primary school, college. Now I want to go and venture into the, I want to work for the community, but because that is now something which has made me to come out of the teaching profession. And as I'm going, I know my students, I had my class from 4, I hope they are going to do well. Otherwise, I am wishing you well. I'm saying that God is going to see you in your exams, and you must be determined in whatever you are doing. So all of told us about determination. We must have interest to pass, and also there's no permanent condition. That is what we are told by our speakers. Gladys told us there's no permanent condition. So if you have been behind, I know you cannot remain there. You can still work hard and become somebody in future. The way I'm now determined to be an MCA is actually something which has motivated me to work for people. And for these remarks, I'm saying, the whole panel, thank you very much, and may God bless you as we continue. Thank you very much, my daughter, for having this wonderful day for me. As I say, I tell my students, bye for now, but we shall meet in the village. We shall meet in the community when I'll be the MCA. May God bless you and have it.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mrs. Rotich. And we wish you so well in your next career, which is going to be in politics. May God see you through. And I know you will be a light, and every student in your next career, which is going to be in politics. May God see you through. And I know you will be a light, and every can you please mute? Okay, thank you. So I know you're going to do great things, and may God see you through. As you go to work for community, you've worked for students, and they're all looking up to you. And for every girl out there, it's good, it's easy, or it's good to dream, and it's free to dream. And like they said, when she believed she could, so she did. So always remember that. Just a few things to tell you is, don't be a shareholder of anyone's life. Don't be influenced. Follow your dreams. Follow your passion. Whatever you've set forth to do, Don't be a shareholder of anyone else's life. It's only your life. Something else is have a positive attitude as you approach your exams, Form 4s. Have a positive attitude. Go in there relaxed. Take the exam with courage and confidence because we believe in you. We know you are going to do great. And then focus very high and then fly high. This world is full of opportunities and it's just up to you to grab them and take them. So it's really up to you. They always say this world is an oyster. It's like a sea. There's anything and everything that you want, and it's there for you. And what is yours is yours. No one will ever take it away from you. And then the other thing is don't allow anybody to make you feel hopeless. Always fly above that. If anyone is making you feel hopeless, don't let that happen. If you're going towards your exam feeling like you don't feel like you're going to do it, remember you can make it and you will do better. So don't allow anyone to make you feel hopeless, or don't allow anything to make you feel hopeless. There's still hope, as you've had a lot of stories. Many people have started from humble beginnings, but look at where they are. You can be one of them. And we are waiting for you. We want you to come and even go higher and above all of us. And I believe it's possible. With those few remarks, I just want to say, if there's any questions from any students, or before that, I'll welcome Ambassador Peter Rono to say something, and then 2-3 questions from students, and then we will end.
So thank you, Janeth. I think let's just go straight. We can take maybe 3-4 questions, maybe 5 maximum.
Yeah.
And Manuela, if you can hear us, I have 5 questions. So far, we still have Hosea Kibrono, we have Janeth, engineer, we have Gladys, engineer, and we have Millie still with us. We have Nelly. So, ukiwa na swali, tutachukua 5 questions peke yake. So, let's, yes.
Balozi. And for the Form 4 class, walifunzwa na Madam Rotich, for any student who will score A, I will do for her shopping akienda university. So, kasi kwenyu wanafunzi. For anyone who will score A, shopping kwangu Madam Rotich, tutakuja na yeye kudeliver those shopping. So, changamoto kwenyu.
So unasikia maneno sasa inaenda mzuri. So asanteni sana. Maybe someone here still wants to say something. If you want to promise these students, mwenye atakimbia pale na akishaenda ukimaliza Form 4 na ukimbie. If you kimbia mzuri and you got a C+ na kwenda juu and you are running, tafuta mtu anaitwa Balozi Rono, tutakutafutia shule on scholarship. So the ball is on your side. Anza kukimbia. Ukianza ukiwa Form 2, utaniuliza. It's very easy to find me. My email is kamobo, myvillagekamobo12@gmail.com. Tafuta Hosea. If you can run, you don't have to run like me. You don't have to run like Shadrach. In fact, ukiambia mtu wewe ni Mkenya na uende mbele, wazungu wanaanza kusirai pure. So sometimes, unaanza sahi and you will do great.
Balozi, I have received message from my friend, is known as Cleophas Keegan. Ameniandikia message. He's based here in Adelaide, South Australia. Ameniambia for anyone who will score A- atawapatia 5,000 for anyone who will. Nice. So Cleophas Keegan.
Cleophas Keegan amesema anybody mwenye atapata A- atapata 5,000. So just go for it. Utapata pesa yenye natembea tu namna hiyo. And let me tell you, wanafunzi, usianze kusema okay, ngutosir nikipita nani ataniso. Don't worry about that. There are a lot of people there. If you get an A, there is no way kina Janeth, kina engineer Gladys, Millie watakuacha if you get an A. So don't start saying nikipita nani atanisaidia. Don't worry about that. You do the work, alafu the problem unatuachia. We will never leave you if you do very well in class. If you pass very well, and God will not leave you anyway. God is with us. Mungu ako na sisi. Kuna watu wengi wamesoma, kina Mili, kina Mimi, kina Shadrach. Ukikimbia, I will talk to Shadrach, I will talk to other people. We can get you to, to come to America. It's very possible. We've sent students to Finland, we've sent students to Canada, we've sent students to Australia, na America. So it's not impossible.
Message from Dennis. Dennis anatoka pia hapo karibu Kesses, but hapo Queensland, Australia. Anasema for anyone who will get an A, atawapatia 10,000 each student.
So unasikia hiyo maneno, ukipata A, kuna jamaa anaitwa Dennis amesema atakupatia 10,000. So it's very easy. It's not hard. There are people who love education. All you have to do is do it. Ukishafanya unatuachia. You leave it for other people. So Dennis amesema anybody who will get an A, you will get a 10,000. Nyinyi wote mkipata 10,000, you will get that 10,000, I guess. Asante sana.
Mimi pia na nimeona Gladys has something also. Mimi mwenye atapata academic scholarship, flight ticket to US or wherever is on me.
So unasikia flight tickets. Hiyo flight tickets hiyo kama ile yangu ilikuwa 11,000. Saa hii kufly kukuja America is 125,000. Au utatafuta ticket. If you get academic scholarship, Janeth will buy your ticket. So hii maneno hii inakuwa sawa sawa.
This is Nelly.
Nelly?
Yeah, for any student who qualifies to go to the university, that is with a B and above, I'm buying all your suitcases. Yeah, kwenda nayo university. Even if you're 20 of you, even if you're 30, I'll buy all of them.
Nice. Awesome.
All right, suitcases utapata. So don't worry, you just pass. Alafu unatafuta Nelly, tutamtafuta Nelly. We will tell her she's in Nairobi. You can just go pick your suitcase. If you are going to the university, utapata suitcase. Thank you so much, Nelly.
Gladys?
Welcome.
Thank you, Nelly. Gladys, sijui kama bado uko. Gladys amesema best overall well-rounded student anapata 5K plus one free book. Na pia student number 1, number 2, number 3 will all get my free book. Now it's up to you, students. The work
how beautiful is it? We never got these things, man. I don't know, Mili, ulipata hii maneno ama hii ni story too. So some of the things ni kama dreams.
Okay, for me, let me buy 10 books for the library so that you don't, whether you got motivated, whether you pass or not, so that everyone can benefit from it. So, I mean, we've said that whether you last or fast, you can always, improve yourself. So let me buy 10 books for the school from, who was it? Engineer Gladys. Library.
Engineer Gladys, maneno ni mzuri. Engineer Gladys, maneno ni mzuri. 10 books yenye itaenda St. Catherine's High School. Make sure you read that book, wanafunzi. Itakusaidia, whether you come or whatever happens. If you read that book, itakusaidia kimaisha. So, asante sana, Mili. So, maneno ni mzuri. St. Catherine's, Mongen. Do you have any questions? If you have any questions, we have 5. We can take 5 questions. Any questions is very important. So, kuja hapo mbele, you direct a question either to Engineer Janeth, myself, I think Hosea, Nelly, and Engineer Gladys, ama Mili. So, unakuja hapo 5 questions. We will answer them.
Na wa kwanza kukuja atapata kitabu. I will buy one book.
You see, now, the first one that comes in front, amuka tu na uulize swali. You will get a book for, hii maneno ni courage pia.
Let me clarify something, Balozi. I said avoid average. When I say average, it's average in like everything. I mean, you aim to be the best in whatever you do. Hata kama unaosha nyumba, wewe osha nyumba to the best of your ability. Kama unafagia to the best of your ability.
Mili mpaka waulize ni nani alifagia, ni machine ama ni mtu, Yeah.
I did tell my story, Balozi. When I came to Australia, I started from cleaning people's houses. And they still call me up to now thinking I'm still a cleaner. So I cleaned to the best of my ability. So when when we say stop average, don't do any mediocrity. We don't want any mediocrity. Just do anything to the best of your ability. If you get a D and you employed all your resources, your heart, soul, and mind to get that D, that is the best that you could ever get. So that is not your average. That is the best you have had. So when I say average, don't think that an average grade is average. Your average is different. Everyone's average is different, but you aim higher and land on a safe ground. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you, Millie. Now, not the first student, Hosea, just tell us your name. Because you are the first one, Hosea will get you your book. The first book itaenda kwa wewe. Huyu anaitwa nani? We can't hear you. Tell us your name. Manuela, you are muted.
I think wanawako.
Because you are the first. Yeah, the first one. This is the first student. Anaitwa nani huyu? Anaitwa nani?
My name is Verian Jekwech Bureti, a student in Form 3. Okay, I have a simple question. From what you've taught us, you've learned a lot. And my question is very simple. How can you get to communicate with your people? You've told us that we can, you can be mentors to us. And example, if I want Nelly to be my mentor, how can I get to communicate?
Thank you. Thank you, Nelly. How can we get hold of you? So we will make it very simple. We will have Engineer Janeth get our emails, and then she will share with the two teachers, Madam Rotich, and then the other Madam. Alafu, you will get our emails. If you have an email, it's very easy. We are on WhatsApp. If you are allowed phones in school, alafu, from there we go. So it's very easy to find us. We are on Facebook. We are everywhere. So it's very simple. Mwalimu, walimu wenu watawapatia. If you are interested, muende kwa walimu and say you want to get hold of so and so. And then, you can ask questions. So thank you so much. A wonderful question. And we will get you our emails, our contacts, and, yes. Lakini kitabu ya kwanza hiyo ya Hosea itaenda kwa huyo msichana. Mwingine usimame hapo hivi. We still have four to go. Just stand up and come in front and ask a question.
The second book.
Okay, kitabu ya pili nakuja kwa the second person pia. So asante sana. Hosea, the second.
Unajua balozi, watu wa bodaboda walikuwa wanasema wananunulia watu kaimati. So now narrative imechange.
Ni kitabu, sio kaimati sasa, ni kitabu. So tuende, kitabu ya pili naenda kwa nani? Nice. Just stand up and come in front. Thank you. We can't hear you, Manuela, again. Now utoe mask so that we see your face. Thank you for wearing the mask. Thank you. You are muted. You are muted. Manuela, she's muted. We can't hear her.
Question. Engineer Gladys told us that we should dream bold dreams. So my question is, if you have that fear, if you don't know how to dream, how will you come out and dream so that you can act on it and achieve them? Thank you.
Asante, Engineer Janeth. It's
Yes.
free to dream. So how do you dream? Engineer, I'll let you answer that.
I'll actually let Engineer Gladys answer that. Karibu, Engineer.
No, that is an amazing question. What's her name?
I didn't catch her name. I think we missed it.
Yeah, I love that question. So because I think when we say dream, I think we associate dream big as if it's this big thing. It just means, dreaming means, what do you want? What do you want in St. Catherine? What do you want in your career? What do you want for your life? Where do you want to live? What amount of money do you want to earn? It's just what you desire. And then and that's how the dream comes. And then you start dreaming. So you desire to get A. That's a dream. That's a dream to get an A. And then you work towards that. And then you desire to go to KMTC, to go to UON, to go to JQuat, to go to US, to go to Australia. That's a dream because you are not yet there and you've not achieved it yet. And you are dreaming to get there. So the student who asked that brilliant question, my answer is a dream is just something you want to achieve, something you desire, something good you desire, where you want to live, what grade you want to get, what money you want to, what car, what house. Those are just dreams. And then you work towards getting there.
Gladys, Minael is her name.
A dream is synonymous to setting goals, achievable goals. Set your goal, work towards that particular goal. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Millie. I think you've summarized perfectly.
Yeah, let me also add by saying, you can ask yourself a simple question. What do I want to be? What do I want to be when I grow up? Like, for example, I can say, engineer, I want to be like you when I grow up. I want to be like engineer so-and-so. I want to be a teacher when I grow up. What do you want to be when you finish St. Catherine? What do you want to get? Where do you want to go? So, those are dreams. And, it's free to dream about that. So thank you, engineer. Thank you, mwanafunzi. So we still have 3 to go. Yes. Tumemaliza 2, 3 to go. Huyo pia atapata kitabu huyo wa number 2. So I don't know what number 3 will get.
Niall. Okay. Asante,
number 3.
Number 3 now.
Number 3, who is that? Oh, kitabu ya 3 inakuja kwa number 3. Number 2. I don't know what number 3 will get.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I said I should say good morning. My revolves in honesty. So you've told us that we must work hard and to achieve our dreams. But is honesty also involved? Because we have a lot of things that we go through that involves some lies and everything. But is honesty a must so that you can achieve what you want and what you need and what you want to be in the future? Thank you. Oh, my name is Gloria Nasrepu. I'm a student from Form 3. Thank you.
Thank you, Gloria. Thank you, Gloria. So, who will answer Gloria?
Thank you.
Thank you, Gloria. Thank you, Gloria. So, who will answer Gloria?
Gladys.
Oh, I think the panelists will also say something about honesty. I don't know. I have a feeling that I don't know if Gloria was asking this question because of, I don't know if leakages still happen. There were a lot of leakages when we were sitting for Form 4. So I don't know if it still happened, and I don't know if Gloria's question was trying to insinuate that. But what I can say, for me, 2 things about honesty. Number 1 is what goes around comes around. So you can steal something today, you can be dishonest today, and you will get what you want. You will get the grade, you will get the money now. But that dishonesty, according to me, will catch up with you. 5 years, 10 years, a decade later, your generation, at least that's my belief. So I feel like the best way to handle it is just to be always honest. Like, people will get ahead of you, but just focus on your lane, focus on your values, because we are all traveling on different lanes. And then number 2 is, when you do that, you are peaceful. Because if you earn an A and you use leakages, trust me, you will be in university and you will know that you stole someone's place. Or you be dishonest today and you get a house, you get a car. I doubt if you will be peaceful. So for the sake of peace of mind, and just knowing that you've done what you've believed and you've lived by your value system, I still advocate for honesty in as much as possible.
Me too. I'll chime in. So you mentioned leakages, and some people usually think that going to top schools like Alliance, I will tell you from my experience, when I did my exam, I never saw any question. Like, it was pure hard work, it was pure determination, and of course, above all, God. So I personally don't advocate for dishonesty. I think honesty is very important. Your integrity builds character. And you may think you're getting somewhere, you're getting ahead. Like, you may think it's taking you places, but trust me, haitakufikisha mbali. Because at the end of it all, even think about it. Like, you want to build a legacy that goes way beyond your own life. Sasa, if you've used dishonest, you know those things will just be disappearing. I know there is so many things, even now in our country with politics. I don't want to go there, that we don't seem to see very good role models, but I think it's an individual. It's all about your own character as an individual and who you want to be. For me, I think honesty is the most critical thing. In the interest of time, tuchukue to the last question.
Okay.
Balozi.
Guys, let me reiterate on that. Easy come, easy go. If you get it easy today, it will fly away within a twinkle of an eye. Thank you. Guys, let me reiterate on. If you get it easy today.
Okay, thank you. We are go ahead. Yeah, I see. Ask your question. Go ahead. Manuela, we can't hear her.
Unmute, Manuela.
Unmute, Manuela. Okay. Rudia, please repeat. Manuela, we can't hear her.
Unmute, Manuela.
Well, my name is Denise.
Unmute, Manuela. Okay. Rudia, please repeat.
My name is Denise Jepkirui. I'm from True. And my question is directly to Gladys. And how the first time she talked, she said that she's a doctor and an engineer. And my question is that, how do you feel being a doctor at the same time being an engineer? Thank you.
Oh, that I didn't catch her first.
No,
name.
she's asking. She's saying, you said you are a doctor at the same time engineer. How do you feel being both?
What's her name? Chepkirui?
Chepkirui, yeah, Chepkirui.
Oh, my namesake. Very simple. It's amazing. It feels amazing.
Explain how.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, for example, engineer, you know, like they usually say so-and-so is engineer.
Yes.
Sometimes we don't understand that unaweza kusoma ukiwa engineer mpaka upate PhD in engineering.
Oh yeah, so how it happens is ukimaliza bachelor's degree, ukimaliza undergraduate, ukienda university na umaliza hiyo degree, unaweza fanya wanaita professional training, unaweza kuwa professionally trained and then ukuwe na title ya engineer. So but after that ukienda masters and then ufanye PhD na umalize PhD. Anyone mwenye anamaliza PhD, it doesn't matter mahali ametoka, hata kama ni doctor, hata kama ni medical doctor na amefanya PhD, engineer na amefanya PhD, anyone mwenye amefanya PhD anaitwa doctor, because PhD stands for PH inamaanisha philosophy and then D inamaanisha doctor. So it's a Latin word, philosophiae doctore. It's a doctor of philosophy, and that's the doctor where the doctor part comes in. And how I feel about it, it's amazing. And Chepkirui, my namesake, it's opened amazing doors for me. So sometimes ninakuanga kwa mikutano, and then watu wanaongea, and then wanasema, and we have Dr. Chepkirui here. Unaona kila mtu amenyamaza kusikia what I have to say, because they think I know what I'm saying because I'm a doctor. So it's given me a lot of platforms, and it's amazing.
All right. So
atapata kitabu, I think, yeah.
Yeah, so Chepkirui atapata kitabu. So there will be 4 books in itaenda kwa wanafunzi. ambayo wameongea. We want to thank you, students, and we want to say we love you so much. Thank you so much. We, like we said, you know, dream of anything, you know, start preparing for things. You know, like we said, it is good to imagine that this is what you want and this is the way to go. We will. There is another student, so I guess we'll be 5. Karibu, karibu. So we will not say no.
We still have one.
Okay, no problem. There is another. I guess we'll be 5.
Okay. My name is Neema Kemei from 4 South, and my question goes to Engineer Janeth. We've heard of cases about racism, especially in the countries which are outside Kenya, and I've seen it fascinating that you've gotten to cooperate or to cope with the other race. So how did you cope, as in that fast? How did you manage the racism that is there?
Thank you so much, Gloria, for that question. Really good question. Wow, I'm very impressed about the level of, you know, the depth of questions that you all are asking. So with racism, yes, it's real. Yes, it's true. And I just want to tell you, when you know your principles, that's why we are telling you, like, some of the fundamental things that you need to start building now, like believing in yourself, like owning your story, loving yourself the way you are. It doesn't matter where you come from. Just use that as your strength and your driving force. So yes, I work in Silicon Valley, and I'll tell you for sure that there are very few Black people like myself. There are even fewer Black women as engineers in Silicon Valley. And then let's even go down some more. There are very few Kenyan engineers and Kenyan women engineers in Silicon Valley. So it gets really, really, it could be a little bit lonely, but at the same time, what has kept me high and it doesn't really bother me anymore right now is because I know where I'm from. I appreciate my journey. I'm so proud to be a Black woman, to be a Kenyan woman. So that is really what keeps me going. It could be hard and challenging, but it's the same thing like I was telling you. Don't let anyone else, don't be a shareholder of somebody's life, and then just be yourself. And I also said, focus very high and don't allow anybody to make you feel hopeless. Those are the things, those are some principles that I tell myself every day. And no matter what, and it's really, you get judged by what you do and how well you do it. So the more you do things very well, you excel, you gain respect. And now I get into meetings. I have spoken to CEOs, I've spoken to billionaires just because of my ability. And I don't look at it like, hey, look, I'm just Black, or somebody should look down upon me. And I want to tell you, it doesn't matter where you're from. It doesn't matter, even these things start from very small families. Even if you come from a very poor family, and somebody else wants to look down upon you, let that not discourage you, because they don't know your destiny. They don't know your future. If you're just focused, determined, and of course, above all, put God forward, you will make it. It doesn't matter. The world it's a seesaw. And so I just want to encourage you, and thank you for that question. No matter where you go, fly high, like make yourself known, because you belong there and you're not there by mistake. You're there because you deserve to be there. Thank you.
Thank you, Engineer. What I will add on that is, if you are very good at something, people will respect you no matter where. If you are very good at something, people will always respect you.
Like make yourself known, because.
So thank you so much. I think we will probably be coming to the end of our meeting today. Yes.
She will get the book as well.
So all the 5 of you will get the book. So thank you so much for asking wonderful, wonderful questions. We love you. We love you. If you are in Form 1 all the way to Form 4, we will always remember St. Catherine High School because you guys are very, very special. We have doctors, we have engineers, we have everybody in this group. So my last words, if you miss everything, I will talk in Kalenjin. I don't know some of the words. You will forgive me for that. But before I go there, I want to just remind you that if you go to a car, the windscreen, the reason why it is like that, so me gujita noilen kinget kebanam got mi form 1 ago to form 4 so ger tai because tuguk chemi the tai koba kamanut ngolian yu nabalet na mwaiwak. You all know a fly ongen kalyanget mi kalyanget emet ngap komi lobaga matia oleba America lakini ongen kalyanget kongonget kalyanget koron kogure lagok kobwa mesa akoleje kawe aset kotebe lagok atya koleji lagok chi ngot koi saa 3 amawege komatatoka nya koteb lagok kole kokoiwano koleji kalyanget kokachut chego chebele bich anan ko subu chebele bich. So ameche alejin don't be just chito age tugul nerioche ki age tugul nekabit. Be very careful in what you do. What you choose en ki nekararan. Ameche kelecho kichomok nebo man. We love you so much. Thank you so much, Engineer Gladys, for being our keynote speaker. Thank you, Hosea Kibrono, all the way from Australia. Thank you, Mili, all the way from Australia. Thank you, Nelly, from Nairobi. Thank you, Engineer Janeth, all the way from Florida. Thank you, all the speakers that spoke today. Shadrach, who has already left, maybe he's gone for training because he's training. Thank you, everybody that spoke. Thank you, Manuela. We wish you the very best, Mrs. Rotich, in your career that you are going to be starting. We will help you. Yegu MCA naba meguna nangalegile no. Reach out to us. We will help you. Let us know. We will always be able to attend. For this school, if there is anything, let us know. We will always try. It can be done. So thank you so much. Everything is possible. I will hand over to you guys so that we can have somebody to pray for us. I guess we will go all the way to St. Catherine. So I wait, Madam Nagamite. One of the madams, you can pray for us. Madam Nagaba Biology. Maybe you can say vote of thanks, and then Mrs. Rotich can close with a word of prayer together. Thank you so much. Manuela, over to you guys.
Once again, I want to Rotich. I want having that patience of sitting and listening for that long. It's been 2 hours plus. Thank you, girls. You've been wonderful. Clap. So on behalf of the principal, I want to pass my sincere thank you. Also on behalf of Deputy Principal, I want to say thank you. This has been an amazing session. Madam Ester Rotich has been a guidance and counseling teacher. I want just to say we are going to miss not a teacher, but also a mentor to these girls. So I hope we will have somebody to fit on her shoes. She has been doing a great work to mentor these girls. Madam Rotich, as you are going to venture into politics, as everyone has said, it's a dirty game, but I know you are going to play it well, and you are going to win the game.
So go, we have given you the blessings as the students and the teachers fraternity. May God lead and guide you. So without much ado, let us rise to our feet and we pray. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, amen. Father, in Jesus' name, we come before you this evening. Thank you for the gift of life. Thank you for the session we've had. Thank you for the teachings we've had. Thank you, God, because you want to actually put in their lives and to model. Thank you, God, for the successful people whom you have given us as a gift this evening to talk to us. We don't take it for granted, but we appreciate. As we are going to leave to our classes, we pray that you guide us. Thank you even for our candidate class. I dedicate before thee that you are going to bless them and give them the desires of their hearts. For I pray this, believing and trusting in Jesus' name. Amen. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Thank you.
Asante sana. Thank you so much. Madam Rotich. Thank you. Okay, thank you everyone. We've come to the end of this event. It was a great pleasure. Asante.
Tinye kimnotet kalameto.
Meurerene kalamit, tinye kimnotet kalamit.
Meurerene kilamito, tinye kimnotet kalameto.
Meurerene kalamit, tinye kimnotet kalamit.
Oye wengati kutita kalamito, kouye ngati ngeliepteo.
Meurerene kalamit, tinye kimnotet kalamit.
Oleweni kwenye komye koriri, koni misuse kotorino.
Meurerene kalamit, tinye kimnotet kalamit.
Amejawech kongoi biik tugul chekosubech eng kebeberta nebo Facebook kong'ete taunet akoi kakesunet kakebalet nebo tetutiet kakiibu eng betutab rani, a very very special episode nekakimi olimbo sukulitab St. Catherine kebeberta nebo Kesses eng county nebo Uasin Gishu under courtesy nebo invitation nebo Honorable Ester Rotich, mama nebo engineer nekakisoiseret inendet eng olimbo Kesses kwo ipkoborchigei ng'echeretab kebeberta nebo Mekon award. So biik tugul chekosubech ameche toshean amu kaking'ololchini kityo lagok chebo Kesses kokakiboisie sukulit, lakini ujumbe nekabo speakers anan ng'ololik cho koityin lagok tugul age tugul nemi form 4, chi age tugul nemakchingei nemi high school. So ameche ale atiboriwochen that program osub our Facebook page, osub kora YouTube nenyonet ak biik chekara kobun takwek cheterchin. Kongoi eng biik chekesubech kong'ete taunet akoi kakesunet. Angen ale akwek tugul ot ne lagok ako ujumbe kokabo wanafunzi eng betut nebara ara biikab Megon kimakwa ki age tugul netie kisoiseretin awa mheshimiwa alimakun ki age tugul nemie ang olimbo Megon ak boisionik. Kiwechi kongoi eng biik chekabwa eng betutab rani, panelist, timit tugul nebo Igerenet chitab Kalenjin, kondoiwech our speaker noto ko Gladys Keynote speaker Gladys Ngetich all the way from Olimbo emet ab America inendet ko engineer nebo ndegeit. Kongoi, asante sana ak motivation nekaikochi wanafunzi. Kongoi kora Nelly Rono all the way from Nairobi ak boisionik tugul cheiyoe kora. Kongoi kora Milly, part of a family member nebo igerenet chitab Kalenjin. Kongoi kora noto ko engineer Shadrack Chirchir all the way from Olimba Colorado Springs Balozi. Kongoi kora Kigen, part of the friends, part of the upcoming episodes chemita. Kongoi kora pledges anan a promise nebo arorchi wanafunzi chebo kebeberta nebo Olimbo Kesses anan Olimbo St. Catherine. Matinye ng'al chechang, ameche kityo engineer ngot komi ng'alyo agenge neitinye imwa sikisaiseret anan sikemande siketar eng betutab rani. Karibu engineer, isaiseret biik cheisubech eng kebeberta nebo Facebook ak YouTube.
Kongoi Hosea, amuche kityongan amwane kongoi eng chitugul nekakosubechi. I hope kagenet kiagenge anan kwaeng. Ako ngiyapte the message, let us all uplift each other, and I know kiwisheni success all the students chebo St. Catherine, and we also wish success to Madam Ester, Rotich, Dewendi, Ibar, and Megun. I hope we wish you the best, and may God see you through all that. And let us, we'll continue to do this empowerment. I think it's important. We all have to uplift our families. And asanteni sana to all my panelists and everyone that joined today. I can't say more. And anyone naisupeji, we will be happy to continue the conversation and Igerenet Tab Kalenjin Facebook page and then go YouTube page. Kongoi.
Kongoi engineer, agere kakenyoru an invite aketakchigei Olimbo kebeberta nebo West Pokot, so kiborye logistics akondoiwech Nelly Rono kebendi Olimbo West Pokot ak timit tugul nebo igerenet chitab Kalenjin. Arawano kebendi one of the schools nemi Olimbo West Pokot sipke-empower wanafunzi. Ngimuchi kora ngokwatunwekwak komuch organisan atikero amu kitinye very tight schedule, lakini ngenyoru an opportunity mwalimuinik chomi sukulit age tugul komuchi kityo ng'alekab technology keituiyo amu cheu achek ndamaki encouragenech anan ke-empowernet ko ndamakimi ole kimi akot little chekokenyoru ketieme kepchei tugul keshian. Kongoi Arap Mutai, kongoi Nicholas Bet, kongoi Basilisa Kujure, kongoi Chebet Gladys, kongoi Mary Kerich, kongoi Grifo Esbon ak chi tugul Kemboi Nation ak biik chekesubech ak Nick Mutai all the way from kebeberta nimbo emet ab America ak chi tugul kelejin ak